It is, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. You know those men in that locker room will take it. Sean will take it. It's better than having to go out there and fight for a win on the battlefield at the same time. I hate to say battlefield. On the football gridiron at the same time.
Sure.
You kind of sit back, relaxing, drinking a Mai Tai. You look up, and you find a way to win because of some other teams dropping it. I'm going to take it, Cease. What about you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to take it because we used to make fun on the old ESPN Denver days when the Broncos would win another AFC West championship. And I'd be like, get your hat, everybody. And now I'm like, can I have a hat, please?
Yeah.
So it's a different feel after 10 years of what we've had to go through.
And you know, Phil, I know you just said, hey, it's better than not having to go out there and earn it. I mean, they did their work so early that they were able to have their feet up, going into Week 18 on a mini bye against a team that is likely going to rest anyone and everyone that they can. Obviously, the Vegas spread, reflects that clearly. But this is, I mean, what a ride. Seriously, what a ride. This is, if they go and even, I'll just say, appear in the Super Bowl. Let's start there. If they go appear in the Super Bowl.
Oh, so we're going to bypass winning the first playoff game.
Well, I'm saying, because what I was going to say is, what I've said in the past to you already, Phil, this season is its own documentary. Right now it might be its own E60, but it can earn the rights to a 30 for 30 if they go to a Super Bowl. And clearly, if they win a Super Bowl, they will have a documentary about them.
Yeah.
It's one of the more improbable seasons maybe in Broncos history. I mean, when else? Because when the Broncos won their first two Super Bowls, they were expected to be really good. They had just fallen short in a major
the Jacksonville game.
Historic way. They were supposed to win it the previous year. So you go into the 97, 98 seasons knowing that they're going to be loaded. On the Super Bowl 50 team, you had just gone to Super Bowl 48. It was in this incredible era, and maybe amongst the Super Bowls that was the most improbable one.
Sure,
see Super Bowl 50,
right.
But this is, I think, even in a different category. I just,
Well, what's weird is there's no dominance from anyone in the NFL because everyone's used to powerhouses. Well, the Chiefs, no one's going to stop the Chiefs. They're used to the Patriots. No one's going to stop the Patriots.
The Ravens.
It's as wide open as it possibly can be. It's wide open for Buffalo. It's wide open for Denver. It's wide open for Jacksonville. It is wide open in a way that normally it isn't because we usually see Jacksonville's really good, but they're never getting past that team. That team doesn't exist, by the way. And every team, I said this on the postgame show, I probably sounded like an aloha because, it happens often. I said, listen, in this market, nobody watches the other teams more than me, and I believe that to be true. I chart the plays for the other teams. Every team has flaws. I can tell you what the Rams' flaws are. I can tell you what Seattle's flaws are. It's Sam Darnold. All these teams that we get excited about, they have flaws. The Broncos probably have 6 or 7 flaws. They are not a flawless football team at all.
No.
And they've played their best football, once? Against Green Bay?
Yeah, against the Packers.
When have they played a complete game? Like the Cowboys game, but the Cowboys suck. Against a really good team, when have they played a complete game? Once.
Yeah.
And they got 13 wins, and there's only one time that they've played
a full game.
A full game.
And to further illustrate your point here, even in the 11-game win streak, the point differential after 11 consecutive wins, just isolating the win streak, was plus 77 points on an 11-game win streak. It's the lowest a point differential of any 11-game win streak in the history of NFL football. Just summarize it, they were getting by the skin of their teeth more than anyone else that had ever won 11 consecutive games.
And this is why it's a magical year. Everything that they needed to happen for them happened for the Denver Broncos, whether it was the clutch moments from Bo Nix or the defense bowing up and making a stop or Sean or the special teams making one play and Sean calling a really good game. Things had to happen to go on an 11-game win streak, to go on a 13-game win situation right now and could get to 14 seats. You're already at 13. You said they were going to be 13. They have a chance to go to 14.
I want to be wrong because I want them to be 14.
Of course.
They need that number one
season,
seed.
man.
And the way you say that, Phil, I believe it deserves a dissection because things have gone their way, but not the entire time. Sometimes when we see these magical teams like Team of Destiny, right? Did the Broncos feel like a team of destiny? Not really, because my interpretation of team of destiny is like, man, everything's going their way. Or this is a team that, like, nobody can stop them because they're just set up and everything goes their way. Hardly anything goes the Broncos' way, yet they win 13 games because of late game heroics.
What thing would you point to that is the number one thing that hasn't gone their way this year?
That hasn't gone there. They don't get turnovers.
Yeah.
Their turnover differential, and Kev has the number, so if I quote him wrong, please forgive me. Right now, their turnover differential is -5, right?
Which is nuts. That is nuts.
Do you know what it was this time for Super Bowl 50's team?
Let me guess. Going into Week 18?
Yes.
Had to be in the
Or Week 17
I guess
at the time.
Right.
Stupid one more game. But anyway.
I'll say they're -5 right now.
Yes. What was Super Bowl 50?
I'll say +11.
Oh, I'm gonna go +9.
-4.
No way.
Kev had the numbers. Plus four. Sorry.
Okay.
Plus four.
I was like, there's no way they're in the negative.
It was +4.
Okay. So an 8 turnover difference.
Yes.
An 8 turnover difference. Okay.
That's huge.
I actually thought it would be more. I actually thought it would be more.
It is -4. Okay, wait. Dante got in my ear and said no, it's +4. No, it was -5 this year. Kev, get this thing right.
Kev yelled at me that it was +4, but it is -4.
It's -4 for Super Bowl 50 at this time.
So the 2015 Broncos opponents turned that team over more than that defense turned their opponent over. That's crazy. That is nuts. I would have never guessed that. That is so atypical. And Sean talked about that today on the conference call. Did you guys talk about that at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so he's basically like, if you look back at Super Bowl teams, like, we have to get better in this department because we are bucking a historical trend that has been steadfast over the decades. Super Bowl teams don't have more turnovers than their opponent. It just defies the game of football itself, where if you're just +1 in the turnover mark for any game, your odds of winning are like 69%. And so the fact that it would hold like that over the course of a season, but also a Super Bowl team is...
And when you study this game, one of the most predictive things is turnover differential. If you just like, Sandy always used to talk about that. Sandy, it would be like, hey, just watch the turnover differential. If you want to know the health of a team, look at their turnover differential. There's a couple of numbers that are interesting. Turnover differential and then rushing yards per game. Over the last 25 years, the average for a team to rush per game for a Super Bowl champion was 114 yards.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
When the Broncos won Super Bowl 50, they were at 96.
Wow.
So they did that in a different way. That is, 114 to 96 is a large margin.
Yeah, that's banking on your defense. The defense was able to get some turnovers by that forced fumble and helping the offense out that way. You're talking about this team in 2025. Can they switch things around right now? You're in Week 17. You're ready to go into the playoffs. You got one more game before the playoffs start, pretty much. Can they turn things around and say, you know what, let's just start taking the ball over?
No.
So it's something that to me, it's something you have to practice early, and it has to come to you early. You can't just say one day I'm gonna wake up and start getting interceptions. It's hard to do.
Yeah, and I don't think like turnovers. You don't rely on turnovers. You don't just count on turnovers. Turnovers are unique. Every snowflake's different. Like every turnover has its own little story, and so you don't. Yeah, you can be a turnover-prone team for sure, and I think I'd be curious what those numbers are in the playoffs for that Super Bowl 50 team. I can go back and look.
+4.
Okay, so there you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. And the question that I would ask is, okay, so the Broncos aren't a heavy turnover team in terms of forcing turnovers. Can your defense just be great when it matters most, and can you not turn the football over when it matters most in 3 one-off games? And that's what we're looking for. And that stat about Super Bowl 50. That's gonna stay stuck in my craw.
Double check Kev's math because it is Kev, so it's Thornton education. It was Thornton, right, Kev? So we'll double check his math. Good to see you guys through this haze that is between Christmas and New Year's.
It is a haze.
What day is it? I've eaten too much. I'll be gone tomorrow. I'm going to a funeral, so I just want to finish by saying F cancer. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Yeah, and that impacts everyone. Sorry to hear that, Cecil. Okay, really interesting start to the show and a different kind of conversation about turnovers. We'll hear from Sean Payton later in the day on that category. Also, the final chapter of the NFL season is going to be a doozy for the Denver Broncos, and we'll talk about why coming up next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports. Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here with the one and only Williams Jewelers. And guys, I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question soon. And you know you need a diamond. And I'm going to save you some time and money right now by telling you something as simple as this. You need to go see my jeweler, Williams Jewelers, for that perfect diamond engagement ring, or that ultimate holiday gift, or just because that special somebody really deserves it. This holiday, imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you could imagine, and the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, but they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers? My hometown jeweler, also the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Sheer Creek North on 3rd Avenue and in Inglewood at Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Phillip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
This holiday season, don't drink and drive. But if you are in an accident, you're in luck. Flanagan Law, where strength meets compassion. While the other guys blend in, I stand out. Look for the Shamrock. Flanagan Law, your advocate when you need it most.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The Fed dropped rates for the 4th time. And if you're a homeowner, you should call American Financing today. You could be saving real money every month. High interest debt is crushing budgets across the country, but homeowners who act now are using their equity to wipe it out. American Financing customers are saving an average of $800 a month, with some getting rates in the low fives. A massive difference compared to credit cards charging 20% or more. Speak with a salary-based mortgage consultant and find out exactly what you qualify for. There are never any upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Move quickly, and you could even delay 2 mortgage payments, putting cash in your pocket immediately, giving you back some of that money you spent during the holidays. Call American Financing today. The sooner you act, the quicker you can save. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
1877 Cars for Kids. Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Soon, if not already, businesses throughout the world will draft their mission statements. These complicated documents, filled with legal jargon and mysterious words, define corporate goals and objectives. We do that, but ours is different. This is Glenn Jameron, President of Alpine Bank, member FDIC. Our mission boils down to 2 simple words. If we dedicate ourselves to these 2 words, everything else will follow. What are they? Be kind. The English language contains hundreds of thousands of words, but at Alpine Bank, 2 are all we need. Alpine Bank, committed to Colorado and you.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Off and roll. here on a Monday, December 29th, as the days continue to fall off the calendar, as we walk you up to the new year. Mr. Phillip Lindsay, what up?
Woo! What's going on a Monday? It's beautiful out there, Zach. Now, there was a little snow the other day. I was okay with it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay with it.
I like it.
Other than that, man, it's a beautiful day, and I get to do this job with you, and we get to talk about the damn Denver Broncos, a little bit of Nuggets, a little bit of Avs. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. It's Cecil referred to it as a haze, and I think that's appropriate. These days in between Christmas and New Year, and really the start of next week, is just always super foggy for me, and I often feel unsettled. And
why do you think that is?
I don't know. Where I struggle with the days and what day it is and what's the date and just everything around this period of time, and I don't really understand why.
For me, when I'm thinking about it, and you have kids too, a lot of it I feel like has to do with one, Christmas has come and gone, Santa Claus is out the way, the pocketbook is drained, but on top of that, you have the kids at the house.
Right.
And so it's a little bit different because you have everybody at the house, so it seems like it's a Saturday every single day for at least 2 weeks because the kids get 2 weeks off now. I mean, what's going on?
We never got 2 weeks off. Back, at least where I was from in upstate New York, we never got 2 full weeks off.
No, but also you guys started earlier or later, and you end a little later, right?
Yeah, we would start in September and end in June.
Yeah, so that's a little bit different than it is here in Colorado.
For sure.
So that's the only thing I can think of, Zach, is just you got the whole family at the house. You're in this holiday mood. You got to go to work where everybody else is sitting there with the PJs on, but yet daddy got to go.
So true.
And it's like, it's just a little different, but, we'll get through it. We'll get through it and have a great day, man.
Of course. And we've learned over time, and especially with the summer, more relevant than right now, but it applies to right now, is at least, and every household's different, so I'm only speaking for our household. You got to keep these kids moving. You got to keep
have a plan.
You got to have a plan, like going into a summer, and my wife starts to do it literally. And again, because we've learned these lessons, like she will start to book his summer. My son's 7 now. She'll start to book his summer quite literally in February, March, and just get everything lined up, get it paid for, get it out of the way, because you don't want to be in the middle of the summer like, man, all this stuff is sold out, all this stuff is filled up, and here we are with our thumbs up our butt, not knowing what to do with this kid for a 13th straight day.
Well, you know what, Zach? I took my thumb out of my butt, and I listened to what you just said there, because you told me this going into last year. Hey, you got to do things a little different. You got to get out in front of it, so that you're not scrambling when summer comes along. And that's exactly what we did, what we're doing right now with little camps here or there, whether it's a football camp, soccer camp.
Yep.
You did the bicycle
we do.
camp.
Yep, a bike camp, which I never would have thought, and my son loved it. We're sending my daughter. She just got her first bike for Christmas.
So we're going to do the exact same thing, but get it out in front of it so that you're not scrambling and you're just hoping that something opens up. Like, everything is just there. It's neat. It's organized, and you have a great summer.
Yep. And shoot, my son's at basketball camp right now. He's at basketball camp at Rangeview High School, big red basketball camp, and I go to drop him off, and I'm like, I just can't leave, and I just sit there and I stay for hours, and I break out the laptop, and I was doing our show from the bleachers at Rangeview High School, watching him get at it on the hoop side. Man, so I hope everyone had a great weekend. We have a fun show, I think, planned throughout the afternoon. Really interesting convo with the crosstalk. I do want to circle back to that because that's I'm fascinated by these turnover numbers and what it looks like historically. Man, we have one chapter left in this regular season story. Can you believe this?
No, I can't. I like this year. This is a book, right? It's like reading my first book ever. It's my book that
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
I was going to go with Go Dogs Go. You just don't want to put the book down, and you know that the pages are getting thinner, and you're like, damn, we're coming to the end of it. This is exactly what the Denver Broncos feel like. It feels like that storybook book.
Yeah.
That you're like, man, I don't want this to ever end, and I hope that it has a happy ending. And the happy ending is for the Denver Broncos to win it all, to go to the Super Bowl and win it all.
Yep.
They control their own destiny. They control it now. But this was a fun year, and it continues to be a fun year, Zach.
There's no doubt about it. What story was that for you when you were – because I didn't like reading when I was growing up, and I don't like reading particularly now. I listen to audiobooks and stuff. But what was a book? And I'm curious, Dante, you too. What was like a book that when you were growing up that like kind of stopped you in your tracks and was like, this is striking a chord with me, and not that you're saying that in your head in your 5th grade head or whatever it was, but like this is really striking a chord with me, and I don't want this story to stop. I cannot wait for that next page to be turned. Like for me, I was in 5th grade, and there was 2 of them. One was The Outsiders.
Okay.
The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and it was about 2 rival neighborhoods, the Greasers and the Socias, the South Side Socials, and or the Socias for short. And the Greasers were from the tougher side of the track, and just those 2 worlds colliding in a rumble and fights over a girl. I just remember being young and just being fascinated by this book, and I'm like, there's a book I like. I found a book that I really like.
So for me, it's 5th grade. And the teacher's name is Miss Willoughby.
Shout out.
Best 5th grade teacher that somebody could ever have, and she helped me out.
If anyone knows her, please let her know that she just got a shout out on the fan.
And she actually read us the book, so I didn't have to read.
Yes, same. I was being read too,
so we would sit there in the corner, and she read us the book called The Hatchet.
Dude,
The Hatchet.
That was my other book.
Okay.
Was that by Dave Paulson?
So Gary Paulson.
Or Gary Paulson.
Gary Paulson.
Yes.
But it's The Hatchet. I had to look up the author
I was fascinated
again.
by The Hatchet, where the plane crashes and he's on this basically island by himself.
He has to try to survive. He has a hatchet and stuff, and it's very detailed too.
It is.
So when you're sitting there, you can definitely close your eyes and imagine what's going on. And there's multiple books, not just Hatchet. I think there's like 3 other books.
Correct.
That you can read in 5th grade. I mean, I just remember reading that book every single day and getting to the end of it and saying, "Damn, I didn't want that to end." And that was the first book that I ever got through, but I didn't have to read it.
Yeah.
Actually, the first book I ever got through was the Terrell Davis book. The TD book.
Love that.
And he didn't believe me. TD didn't believe me until I brought the book, and I had a bunch of underlined words because, it was hard for me to read. So I had to underline things, and I wrote some notes. And when he saw what I did,
cool.
he was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's like, you really did read this book. And so, that was the first book I ever read from start to finish, other than listening to Miss Willoughby go on and
do
read
the
about
hatchet. That is so cool. That was my book too, man. That was my book too. Dante, what was a book that stopped you in your tracks as a kid?
I forgot what grade I was in, probably around what you guys were just saying, but it was Mike Lupica's book, Travel Team. It was about this little kid, maybe like 12 years old, trying to make his travel basketball team.
Mike Lupica. Really gosh, I haven't heard that name in a while. Travel Team. Huh. All right. Yeah, that's a fun conversation, man. And in the Hatchet, isn't there a part where like the pilot dies and is dead?
Yeah.
He's dead in the cockpit.
He is, and the boy, I forgot his name, swam down and he saw the pilot dead, but had to get other things. And I think the fishes were eating at the pilot.
Yes, and I remember like almost being shaken by that. Like we're in school and my teacher's reading us this story, but there's a dead body in the story. That just, it was profound for me at that time. Great stuff. Great side conversation. All right, so the last chapter of this NFL season.
Last chapter of Hatchet.
Broncos, Chargers. Win. We know they're the AFC West champions. Win, and you are the number 1 seed in the American Football Conference. How cool is that?
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's something that, Zach, truly any player wishes they could do. All right, first goal, as a young boy, is trying to make it to the NFL. Once you get to the NFL, now it's about staying, but it's also about winning and having that feeling of like, we did it. And it's not just about you, it's the team. And truly, it is about putting on the hat, putting on a shirt. Now, no, there's some people out there that don't care about it, but those players truly do. As much as somebody like Adam Trotman, I heard, doesn't think that they would put the shirts on, like it's something.
You earn that.
You earn it.
Yeah.
It's pride. It's probably one of the only shirts, a t-shirt, a cotton t-shirt that you're going to care about, where you're going to hang up and say, we did the damn thing. We won the division. We are the champs of the division, and it was so hard to do. And so you don't take that for granted, man. I know we're going to circle around and talk about it, but it's something that everybody dreamed about. I wish I could have, put that shirt on, the hat on, put a cigar in my mouth, and take that picture knowing that you guys did it, knowing that you did it and you were one of the reasons why. Because everybody matters. The practice squad, the players on the field, the coaching staff, the janitors, everybody matters if you're going to win big, if you're going to win the division, if you're going to win playoff games, if you're going to get to a Super Bowl. It takes a village, man.
Man, I love it. I, like you, do think, and I understand that there's bigger goals, but two things can be true at the same time. You can be focused on a larger goal and continue to work at it, and also stop to smell the AFC West roses for just a second.
Just a second.
Yeah, just a second. So fantastic. They did it, and now there's this win, and obviously they're in. I want to say win and you're in, but win and you're the top dog. And the AFC playoffs comes through Denver, Colorado. I mean, come on. This is awesome. On the RamosLaw.com text line, I think about what the boy learned about water reflecting the light when he's trying to get the fish with a spear and the hatchet, and I'm reminded of it every time I go fishing. And
I remember that part.
The outpouring of people responding to our what book made you stop in your tracks as a kid, from reaction to our books, and also say, hey, second grade Adventures of Huck Finn and Stay Gold Pony Boy. Have you ever seen the Outsiders movie?
Oh, no. Is
it
a good
one? Oh, my
one?
gosh, dude. Dude, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, okay? And the cast for the film, if you tried to hire those same actors 10 years after it, the payroll for the film would have been about $1 billion, because you're talking about Thomas C. Howell or C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Diane Lane.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch it.
Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise. I mean, dude, it's freaking loaded, man. Shout out to everyone who read The Outsiders or watched that movie growing up. Okay. Hit the pause button on the Broncos for a second here. There's an unhealthy trend that keeps on popping up in Denver on the Denver sports radar, and we need to keep a close eye on it. We'll talk about it next.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here on behalf of my friends at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you men out there. It's going to be a new year here in just a couple days, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make some positive changes in our lives. Guys, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction and you're tired of the frustration or even embarrassment that ED causes, guys, there is no better New Year's resolution than you can make than to be done with ED. Guys, ED is a medical condition, and like most other medical conditions, it's treatable. And I'm talking about treatments with success rates well over 90%. All right? They've served the Front Range of Colorado for nearly a decade, and they've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. So schedule a consult with the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. That initial visit is only $99. That includes a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. Guys, it's real simple. If the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit's free. They have an expert staff and 5 locations in Colorado to serve you. So you have no excuse. Stop living with ED. Call them 720-440-7900 or visit them online at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. You know, in the game of life, our most valuable asset is our health.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. What if you could use the equity in your home to get cash fast? With no appraisal, zero hassle, and less waiting with Cake? You can. The Cake Fast Cash program is like turning your home into your ATM. People are using it to pay off high-interest debt, do renovations, tackle student loans, or cut monthly bills by hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The best part? Your current mortgage rate won't change. With Cake, you also get peace of mind. We're AAA rated by the Better Business Bureau and backed by thousands of 5-star reviews. Cake Mortgage. Your fresh-baked Cake Fast Cash loan is ready to enjoy. So don't wait. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com for thousands of 5-star reviews.
Dan Jacobs for 303 Law 4040, and I'm here with that beautiful voice you hear on the other end of the phone oftentimes when you call 303 Law 4040. It's my lovely wife, Kimberly. Kim, I know you and I had so much fun the other day. We actually met with a couple that had been in an accident up north in their house the other day, and Randy was so excited. He's like, I can't believe it. It's the lovely wife. She's right here in my kitchen.
He's too kind. It was so really great to meet him and his wife and his pets and just be able to help them.
I think it helps that when you answer the phone, when people call 303 Law 4040, it makes things, I know calling a lawyer can be scary, but I don't know, your soothing voice just makes it a little bit easier.
Well, I just want to help. That's all. And I know how to do that.
I love the holidays. I always like to wish our listeners happy holidays. Would you like to do so as well?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful new year.
And I hope you never need us, but just in case, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Hey, the cold weather is here. Stoke here from my friends at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new furnace? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinions. And don't forget about heat pump rebates. They've never been better. Up to $13,500 only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that Jeep.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3, The Fan.
Your favorite songs shouldn't have to wait for Wi-Fi. Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart.
It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By.
$50 people were texting into the radio station on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043.
Who does their laundry? Does their wife do their laundry? Do they do the laundry? Do they do the laundry separately? I mean, it's things that everybody can relate to.
Yes, no doubt. And cleaning your belly button.
Yeah, now that was
last year.
That was different. I started cleaning the hell out my belly button.
We had
smell it every hour.
We had Broncos team president Damani Leach come up to us at a training camp practice and asked us if we had cleaned our belly buttons that day. But this one, I mean, the amount of responses and people weighing in what their book was or reacting to us. We have a teacher right now on the RamosLaw.com text line saying, I am currently reading Hatchet to my 5th graders, and they are loving it.
See?
And my wife, and this is crazy how this works, she's a teacher, but she's a special education teacher in a sense where she teaches more intensive reading. All right, so she's a reading teacher. Think of it like that, not severely disabled. And
How much does she charge? I might need to go there.
But she read, 25 years after, my teacher read Hatchet to me, she read Hatchet to her students that she would pull out of their class, and they just loved it. But the amount of people say, hey, Lord of the Flies, what did I see? The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, that was another one.
Yes, I mean the Giver. There's just a lot of reaction to that conversation. We appreciate you guys very much. Okay, there's an unhealthy trend, and it keeps on popping up when it comes to the Denver Nuggets, and I just want to keep a close eye on it. All right, and it's not the first time that we've talked about this. It's also not the second time that we've talked about this.
So we're going for a third, huh?
Yeah, in fact, I brought it up after the third loss of the year. Because I remember the first loss of the year was against the Golden State Warriors, and it was in overtime. All right?
Steph Curry went crazy in overtime. I remember.
He did. And then the Nuggets lost a game at Portland, 109-107, and then they lost a game against the Chicago Bulls at home that they never should have lost, 130-127. And I remember coming in here saying, hey, this is kind of weird. The Denver Nuggets are the master of winning clutch games. And clutch games defined by the game within 5 points with less than 5 minutes left in the game. That was a death sentence for years against the Denver Nuggets. A flat-out just death sentence. And if you made it there, sort of like that old phrase in sports, if you're even, you're beat.
Yep.
That's kind of how it was down the stretch of the Nuggets games for years. If it's even, you're beat, because Jokic and Murray are going to out-execute you in a way that you simply cannot. But then these losses keep on stacking up. Another loss to the Spurs back in November, 139-136.
And remember, that was out without Wemby.
Correct. There was a loss to the Dallas Mavericks last Tuesday, 131-130. And then a loss on Saturday to the Orlando Magic, 127-126. It is unusual to see this amount of one or two possession losses to the point where the Denver Nuggets, and this is hard to believe because of how good of a team that they are right now, current record stands at 22-9, but they are just 4-7 in games decided by 5 points or less.
See, and I'm trying to wrap my finger around what's going on, Zach. The only thing I can think of, and I don't want to give them a cop-out because at the end of the day, you have to finish games. You have Jokic, you have Jamal Murray. They've been through a lot. They finish games off, so there shouldn't be an excuse. The only excuse I'm going to give them is they're not at full strength. They're without three of their starters. They're having to implement backups, and backups are having to be the backups coming into the game to give these players a breather. So what's going on, Zach? That would be mine. Is like they're wore out. Jamal and Jokic are tired by the end of these games, where mentally they're exhausted. It's like, man. Usually they have a little bit left to finish it off, and that hasn't been the case.
Well, I'm not going to give them that excuse.
All right.
Okay, because
I'm being the nice guy then.
In half of those losses that I quoted, you were at full strength. Here's the other reason I'm not letting them off the hook for it. The reason that you've been such a high-executing team has been Jamal and Joker, and those guys are available and both playing great. Here's the other reason. Orlando was missing their two starters. So they're missing 40% of their starting lineup as well. In the loss to the Mavericks, that's the worst offense that we can find in the last decade.
Yeah, it was a bad loss.
And they scored 131 after they scored 131 back on December 1st. Think about that. The Dallas Mavericks, the worst offense in the last decade, has scored 131 points twice on the Nuggets. And so is the sky falling? Of course it's not. This team can go win a championship, but it needs to be on our radar because what in the past was a hallmark strength currently is a weakness. And it's something that we really have to monitor here.
But also put on your radar the damn defense.
Oh, my gosh.
Specifically the perimeter defense, Zach. That's something that I feel like we talk about almost every single time. Now, of course, this year there's been some really great moments where it's like, okay, the Denver Nuggets are playing really good defense. But last year, that was something we talked about every game. Where's the defense at? This year, we're talking about it more times than not. Perimeter specifically, where's the defense at? Why are we not closing out the rebounding so that these teams don't get extra chances? Like, that's something that, of course, the sky is not falling right now in my eyes, but it has to get corrected fast, because once you start playing against the Thunder, when you have to play against the Spurs full strength, do you have enough to beat them if you don't play good defense? I mean, the name of the game and anything you play, you can say hockey, basketball, football, you have to play some damn defense.
You have to. And right now, I'll just say this. On Saturday night, it was hard to watch. The Magic are not a good offensive team, and they got to 127 points. Turnstiles on the perimeter. And so, again, no one's pulling the fire alarm, okay? But also, the reason that I can't let them off the hook in terms of the clutch regard on Saturday night specifically, dude, you're up 17 points in the second half.
Yeah.
You're up 17 and you lose. Oh man, that one stings. That's a game. I think there's 4 losses, and we'll move on here. I know we got to go, but there's I think about 4 losses. So which is almost half of the Nuggets losses that should not have happened. All right. The game against the Chicago Bulls, when the Bulls had lost 5 in a row, came into Denver and scored 130. The game against Sacramento, when the Kings had lost 8 in a row and came into Denver and scored 128. I'll let them off the hook with the San Antonio loss, because that's just a damn good basketball team. But the losses to Dallas, and especially the one at home, where they came in here and scored 131 points and snapped a losing streak as well. So
defense,
yeah,
tighten up.
And then the Orlando loss, up 17 in the second half. So that's 4 of the 9 losses should have never happened. So again, sky's not falling. Let's continue to monitor that. All right, CU. Your alma mater up in Boulder made one of the most important hires since the turn of the century here, and it was made official today, and I have 2 huge questions about it, and I'll ask them coming up next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports. Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app.
It matters who your lawyer is. At Berg Simpson, we truly care about the quality of work we do, that fair compensation is given, and that our clients are getting the best possible representation. We're proud of that, and it shows.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives. It's not just a slogan, it's who we are.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and yet the results last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Dr. Tanya Pauls and Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment using your own natural hair. Advanced Hair restores your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning, and they guarantee your new hair will grow for life. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
As the year winds down, Groove Toyota is here to help you gear up for what's next. Lock in 1.99% APR for up to 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on the new 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5. With Toyotathon in full swing, Groove Toyota has 0 down lease options on top models, making this the easiest time of the year to upgrade. Finish the year strong with Groove Toyota on Broadway in Inglewood or at GrooveToyota.com.
Offer expires 1/5/26. Not all will qualify. Restrictions apply. With approved credit, call 720-961-4465 for complete details.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, Colorado, CU Boulder, which I was up in Boulder yesterday.
Roommates up in Boulder.
Yeah, I went out there.
What were you doing in Boulder?
I was looking for Deion. Because I know he's in town. I know he's not out recruiting.
No, Deion was watching his son beat up on the Steelers.
How about that?
The Ravens out.
How about that?
Perfect timing, right?
Perfect timing.
Zach, you wanted our boy Shador to be a part of the Ravens. Instead, Shador needed to help the Ravens out. That's why he didn't join.
Oh my gosh. How about the Steelers? We'll get to it. We'll get to it because I want to have a dedicated conversation about just the moving parts in the NFL. And we will do that here today. But first, man, CU, really important day. Really, really important day for your Buffs.
Christmas came late, but it came.
The Board of Regents approved the hiring. How about this? 37-year-old athletic director, Fernando Lovo. I've never heard of an AD at a Power 5 level in their 30s. I'm sure it's happened at some point. I just am not aware of it.
That's how you know, one, the Board of Regents did their research, and two, it's like, hey, we're all in. You're a rising star. That's what it sounds like. You're a rising star.
Definitely.
All right, you have a little bit of oomph to you, because I've been watching his interviews, and he's a confident man.
Yes, he is.
He's a confident man that understands what he wants. He can paint a vision. That's at least what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing around town, around up there in Boulder. So I'm excited, Zach.
Yeah, you don't get a Power 5 AD job. AD, like the guy, if you are not a shooting star. And you check all the boxes.
I like that one.
And I think the number one box that needs to be checked is, what is the plan financially for this athletic department? And he must have painted some picture for them to say, yeah, we're not going to go with the 55-year-old candidate. We're going to go with this 37-year-old shooting star.
Raise money. The plan, you have to get money in that damn building.
Well, he was at New Mexico previously for a hot second. I don't even know if he made it a whole year.
It was 13 months.
Okay, so just a little over a year. He was a former chief of staff for the Jacksonville Jags, along with 2 different stints as an administrator at Texas. Hook 'em. New Mexico hired him in December 2024, setting the stage for a banner year, which the Lobos grew their overall operating budget by over 17%, with record marks in ticket sales, multimedia rights, and
drum roll,
the F word. fundraising, right?
That's number one.
This is what it's about right now for CU. Lovo last year also hired, how about this, Jason Eck as the football coach. Jason Eck was a graduate assistant for CU once upon a time. And the Lobos under Jason Eck finished 9-4, leading to that, ticket sales and, multimedia rights and all that stuff. CU paid for the search. All right. They paid a search consulting firm led by former Washington AD Todd Turner. The fee for the search was $125,000, according to records obtained by USA Today.
See, they listened to Kroenke, right? Kroenke paid for a search too for his guys as well, and
allegedly. CU also presumably will buy out Lovo's contract at New Mexico for around $800,000. So really, 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 really important day. We've been talking about this hire for a while now, and they have their man. And CU is banking on the field and in their quote-unquote front office on two hotshot risers and newcomers. In the front office, the guy who wears the suit, Mr. Lovo here.
Yeah.
On the field, Brennan Marion. That you're pushing your chips in this go-go offense and the offensive coordinator and banking that, hey, this guy is a shooting star and we're getting him pretty early in the game.
You know what, Zach? I love the hire. I love the go-go offense with Brendan Marion as well. Like, it's the young stars, new blood, hungry. They want their opportunity. They want to show that they can do it. Now, for some of them, maybe for the offensive coordinator specifically, it's a stepping stone, right? It's like, if I do well here, I move on.
Yeah.
Even with the AD, somebody might say, hey, well, is this going to be a forever thing? It's 5 years. But maybe in his head, it's like, if I pull this off at 37 years old and I bring this program, not just football, but this athletic program in general, back to the top.
Yep.
What does that look like for me? So now he's going to be even hungrier to prove everybody wrong and some of the people that hired him, prove them right that you made the right decision. He's going to go out there. He's going to pitch. He's going to be able to talk. It's all about fundraising as an athletic director in college, right? It's about fundraising. It's about painting the picture. Maybe get with Sean Payton. See how Sean does things when he's painting his pictures and getting everybody on board. Who knows? Who cares? Just find a way to get the money in the building and bring athletics back up to the top.
Yeah, and here's the reality, and I'm glad that that's your mindset about, hey, potentially this could be a more of a stepping stone in the best positive way, because here's the thing, man. I'll use Colorado State as an example. You want a Big Ten school like Minnesota to come and steal Niko Medved. You want that. And I know it sounds crazy, but you want that. That means he killed it at your school and brought the profile of your school up and had success and made money and all this stuff. Obviously, this is down the road, but you should want this new athletic director, Fernando Lovo, you should want a Big Ten school trying to steal him in 4 years. That means it went really good here.
Yeah.
All right? And someone says on the RamosLaw.com text line, why not hire a dude who knows the history of CU football? I understand the sentiment. I do, but it's sentiment, not reality. The reality is the number one and the number two goal of every AD right now at the Power 5 level is financially tied and financially based. And this is the compass for the decision-making of Mr. Lovo here. And Well,
you got to get with the times too, right? The times change. And these younger guys, these younger men and women, they understand what needs to happen right now. You got the NIL money. You got things going on. And it seems like Fernando, he understands what he has to do. He knows there's going to be a lot of pressure put on him. Now it's about him getting with not just Deion, but the coaching staff, all the coaches out there, painting the picture for them, getting to know them, coming up with a great communication skill so everybody's on the same page so that everybody can be successful. But it does start with the football team. And what does it look like with Coach Prime, with Lovo? How's that relationship going to work?
Yes.
How is it going to look? You got a younger guy who's in charge of an older dude. How does that feel when it comes to the pride? There's different things they're going to have to get ironed out so that they can have success.
I have two huge questions as it relates to this hire and Deion Sanders. I'll bounce those off of you when we come back, but also breaking news coming out as it relates to Broncos Chargers this weekend. Details next.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Enjoy this run to the playoffs and be safe when you're going to the games or to parties. If you do get into an accident, make the right call to Flanagan Law. While the other guys blend in, I stand out. Look for the Shamrock. Flanagan Law, your advocate when you need it most.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, a Promenic restorative health practice.
This holiday season, AutoNation is unwrapping the biggest gift of all, the car you actually want with 0 down and no payments for 90 days. With our coast-to-coast inventory of nearly 100,000 new and used cars, trucks, and crossovers, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. 0 down, no payments until April. That's the deal you deserve on the car you love. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation store or AutoNation.com. Limited term financing on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase on deferred payments. See store for details.
12 months from now, you'll either wish you had started or you'll be celebrating a healthier, younger feeling you, and Soda Weight Loss makes the second option the one you need to take. Soda helps retrain your metabolism. No drugs, no injections, no mystery chemicals, just science-backed nutrition, real food, and real coaches who guide you every step of the way. Clients routinely hit life-changing milestones within weeks. Better sleep, lower blood pressure, reduced inflammation, and confidence that feels brand new. I often say, nothing tastes better than skinny, and thank you for making me healthy, SodaWeightLoss.com. No hunger, no guesswork, just results. I know how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat because of SodaWeightLoss.com. And this January, the deal of the year. Look and feel 10 years younger for the price of one. Bring a partner, pay for one, and transform together. Visit SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me, state of the art.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or Albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code PLAN to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code PLAN to get up to $1,000. Use code PLAN to get up to $1,000.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastry at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? He get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. You know, in the game of life, our most valuable asset is our health. With the right equipment, you can train like a pro. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer. I have a true treadmill at home. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, save big this holiday season. At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Catch Telestrator Tuesday weekly on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, where Stink or Stoke dive into the past weekend's games with a coach's eye, using insights into what went right and wrong on critical plays. Telestrator Tuesdays, powered by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Leading off with a big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
1 hour in the books. Quicker than a New York minute.
There we go. There we go, Zach. I love when you say that.
Man, feels good. Feels good to be back in the saddle. I'll just tell you guys, because I don't care. I am mostly an open book on this show. Like the version of me that you guys get is just the same one that goes to commercial break and just keeps talking. Like I'm not like a different. And I know there's different ways to do this job, so it's everyone's own walk.
You're organic. You're the organic Zach By.
Well, I try to be. Because, well, I don't want to get too bogged down with that, but I get anxiety around this time of year. I was just telling you off the air, and I can't really explain why. Like, especially this window between Christmas and New Year's, and the schedule's not right, and we're not coming in here every day, and I get like legitimately anxious about the show and doing a great job, and I cannot put my finger on why, but Zach, I don't like the way that I feel a lot of times.
But you know what? That's a great sign. That's a great sign. That means, one, you love your partner. You love coming in here and doing it with me, although I'm better looking than you, and you were jealous at the beginning. You're starting to understand things.
I'm objectively more handsome than you.
So it's all about perfecting the craft and understanding, like, this is, and you've said this before, this is your football. This is my football now. And we want to make sure that we come in here and put fantastic shows together for our listeners because they deserve that. And how do you do that? You got to stay consistent. And so when we start to have days off and we're with our kids and now we have to do the laundry and we have to do the dishes and, babe, can you do this? It's like, all right, it's time to go back to work. It's time to go back to work and do what we do best.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here today. It's going to be a really fun week. A lot of football. I can't wait to get into the college football playoff conversations that we're going to have in the middle of this week. And, man, we're loaded with football. Going into Week 18, we'll talk about some of these, winning your in scenarios here at the bottom of the hour, looking around the NFL. I want to just finish up. Well, first of all, let's do the Broncos first. Let's do the Broncos first.
Yeah,
because
there's some breaking news.
There is some breaking news. Jim Harbaugh, all right, who has really owned this matchup against Sean Payton and the Broncos since returning to the NFL, he told reporters out there on the left coast that Justin Herbert will not start on Sunday. All right? We had speculated that could be the case. I think this is the right move for that organization where they're at right now and where Herbert's at.
Yeah, very smart move for them because Herbert, let's face it, he's out there, he's playing, but he's hurting because of that surgery on his hand, and they're having to pad it up. And right now they're dealing with their offensive line, so now people are teeing off on him. You want to make sure that you have your quarterback ready for the playoffs. Of course you want seeding. You want to be able to win. But what's more important when you know that you're already in the playoffs and you know that the seeding isn't going to get you to the number one spot is making sure your starting quarterback is ready to go in the playoffs. So smart by Harbaugh, but in that situation, it's great for the Denver Broncos and Broncos country because it's just something we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about Herbert, who has hurt us in the regular season. We can go out there and try to find ways to win without dealing with the starting quarterback.
Well, this is going to be a dynamic that was similar to Week 18 last year, where it was win and you're in. And that's not the same stakes as this season. But this is a win, and you're going to get the number one seed. And the other team is not trying their hardest to actually win. So, where is the mindset? What is the focus when you know that the competition is going to be, a level or 2 or 3? Because we don't know. If this is your logic with Herbert, it will likely be with anyone else who has a bump or a bruise right now.
Yeah, for sure. You should be able to rest your players, or you should want to if you're Jim Harbaugh, for anybody that's banged up. Rest them. It doesn't matter. Your starting quarterback's not there. You're probably not going to win this game. Then rest them. For the Denver Broncos, you have to have that same mindset as if you're going to play the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Green Bay Packers. You got to go in there and win. You got to execute. And one thing that told me and is going to tell me a lot about this team is how they come out at the beginning of the game. The long drive. I want to see a long drive if we have to have the ball first. Defensively, I want to see them get off the football field, a 3 and out. And if they can do that, we know they're going to have full control of this game at home, where the fans are going to get rowdy, they're going to get loud, and find a way to win this game. I truly believe if they go in there with the right mindset, which they should have this year, they've had the same mindset this whole entire year, Zach, since camp, where it's this serious mindset of let's just handle business, and it starts with the coach and it starts with the quarterback, and both your coach and quarterback are there. You should have that mentality of go in there, handle business.
Yeah, and the mindset was on point a year ago in that 38-0, just absolute seal clubbing of the Kansas City Chiefs. It has potential to look like some version of that, and the odds are reflecting that as well. So this number opened up. When I say opened up, like the first time that the odds makers say, okay, you're allowed to bet on this game, the number was the Broncos minus 2.5. So a 2.5 point favorite. About 2 hours ago, the number was around, actually about 4 hours ago, it was around 7.5. And then it has bumped up to 8.5, then 9.5, and now it's at 11.5. So an 11.5 point favorite at home for the number 1 seed. I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to be a layup, but this should really not be stressful if the Broncos go about this the right way.
I mean, are you having a little PTSD with the Kansas City game we just watched? Because that was a third-string backup quarterback, right? It was a backup quarterback.
It was.
And he did some stuff. I mean, it came down to a last-minute drive, and that backup quarterback was driving down the field until we stopped him. But it was getting kind of scary.
Well, I'll say this. That was a road game. This is a home game. That was a short week as a road game, which has been historically unkind to a team in the Broncos scenario. Now you're coming off of mini bye and you're at home. So both of those dynamics are completely flipped.
And Christmas is not here anymore.
Sure, and it's not on Christmas. And and Sean is going to be in these guys' ears like, hey, guys, if we win this game, we're not going to – you guys are going to be off. I'm going to give you guys off. We're going to have basically – I don't know how many days will go in between Week 18 and the Broncos playing on the divisional round, maybe 14, 17, something like that. I just hope that the mindset is laser focused, and my assumption is that it will be. I don't think that you're going to see any sort of hiccup here from the Denver Broncos.
No, the mindset should be, hey, move the ball, sustain drives like you had and have against the Kansas City Chiefs and let's just say the Raiders, where they were having these long drives defensively. Like I said earlier, get off the field, get some pressure on this backup quarterback, Trey Lance, who, by the way, is not a bad quarterback. He's a good backup. So you're going to have to put pressure on him because he can move around the pocket and try to get some turnovers. But this is also the time to fine-tune yourself if you're the Denver Broncos with the coaching, with your players, with the scheme. Like, let's go in there and let's control the clock by running this ball. Let's show and give the fan base a little bit of taste of what can happen in the playoffs when the run game gets going. Let's get Ben Powers back in the mix full time because he's kind of been in and out, which now you want your starting guard in there helping you with the run game, which when he's been in has been a lot better than it has in the past. So let's just kind of get things going in the right direction where we're just moving this ball, we're running it as much as possible, taking clock and scoring touchdowns, get that number one spot, get some time off, and then let's go. Let's go, I mean. It's time to get going.
Well, let me ask you this. And if you're just joining us, we found out a few minutes ago that Herbert is not going to play this weekend against the Denver Broncos. And he has been great against these Broncos. And so is just the Chargers.
Been tough.
Considering this scenario is confirmed, okay, that we speculated on. It's confirmed. And considering what's at stake here, the number 1 seed, going into the playoffs, this is the last time that you're going to see these Denver Broncos before the season is hanging in the balance.
It's crazy.
It's dramatic. We've asked this question a couple times, but I feel like it's appropriate once again. In order for you to feel good about the Broncos going into the postseason, do you want to see the Broncos put it on the Chargers? At home, off a mini bye, against the non-starter, and I'm assuming if that's the mindset with Herbert, it will be with others who are, dealing with any sort of issue.
Yeah.
In order for you, and because I know the function of a win is going to give you the number 1 seed, whether it's by 30 or 1, but for you to feel good about the Broncos, should the Broncos be pulling away from the Chargers here for you to feel good heading into the postseason?
Zach, and usually I'm on the end of just win. It doesn't matter. And in playing in the NFL, it's so hard to win. It doesn't matter if you're playing against the starters, the backup, the third string. Everybody is playing for something. But in this case, knowing that this is the last game of the year before you get some time off, and then it really starts where if you win this game, you're going to be the number 1 seed and only need to win 2 playoff games to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I want to see a little bit more. I want to see us put it on them in the sense of some touchdowns. We can have long drives, but it needs to end with touchdowns. Of course, it needs to end with points, but points can mean a touchdown or a field goal. No, I need touchdowns. I need maybe a couple rushing touchdowns, a couple throwing touchdowns. It gets to a situation like we were week 18 where it's 38 points. I want to see something like that to feel really good about where the Denver Broncos are. And I think Sean wants to see the exact same thing for his offense, specifically running that ball, getting Troy Franklin, getting Pat Bryant healthy, but also going, getting the tight end going. I want to see fireworks, Zach. And is that too much to ask for this last game?
I don't think so. I don't want
to be selfish, but damn.
No, I think it's very reasonable because here's also the thing. The latest taste that they left in our mouth doesn't taste good. All right, doesn't taste good. And despite it being a win, all right, because the way it looked and how it felt watching it. The game prior to that was a beatdown, let's face it, against Jacksonville. Defensively, this team has not been quite right. Offensively, still plenty of room to grow in the categories that you mentioned there. So, yeah, I think it's I don't think you're being unreasonable or greedy or selfish to say, yeah, in order for me to feel good and have inspired confidence that the Broncos can maybe make a Super Bowl push or win multiple playoff games, I want to see them play and play well.
And also, Zach, if you go out there and you're the Denver Broncos, you're Bo Nix, and you go out there and you handle business and you put the points up, you're going to be taking out the game fast. You'll be taking out the game by the fourth quarter if you're up on them pretty big.
Sure.
Which now you're getting that built-in rest, you're feeling good about yourself, and you move on knowing that you got the number 1 seed. So everything has to be attention to detail. Everything has to be on point in practice this week, like you are playing Justin Herbert, like you are playing for your life, like it's a playoff game. Because if you go in there with that same mindset, we are going to be some happy campers by the end of this game Sunday.
Well, Sean Payton spoke this morning, and he was asked on areas they need to improve upon, and the turnovers, or really the lack of turnovers, came up.
And then improving, the one area that has to improve is that turnover margin. And that can happen. We did a collective the last 25 years, Super Bowl winners, it's something like 114 in the plus. There's been one Super Bowl winner in the last 25 years. I'm just talking about when the playoffs begin. The Rams recently were the only -2 turnover team. The rest added up to some crazy number. And so that's something we've got to improve on.
It is such a real conversation because in the NFL postseason, when there's almost no margin for error, a turnover can kill you. And for as good as the Denver Broncos are, for whatever reason, man, they just do not force turnovers. And they have to have one of the worst turnover differentials for a team that is 13-3.
Yeah.
I mean, to be 13-3 and to be -5 in the turnover department, and I know most of you guys get this, but just to be inclusive, just to go over the top to be inclusive. When we talk about turnover difference, okay, if I'm playing Phil and I throw an interception to Phil's team is +1 in the turnover category. I'm -1. I'm -1 because he has one more turnover than I do. Then you total it through the course of a season, okay? And what does that turnover differential look like? For the Broncos to be 13 wins and -5 in the turnover margin. So they have 5 more turnovers over the course of the season than their opponents. Yeah. It's wild. It doesn't compute, but
it really doesn't.
Seeing is believing.
Zach, it really doesn't. On top of that, having a dominant defense for the most part. Now, I understand the last couple games, it hasn't looked the same with this defense, but they've been dominant. The sacks are getting off the field, being aggressive. But those turnovers is one thing that the Denver defense has not done a good job of. And also, or honestly, it comes down to doing it during camp. It comes down doing it during practice. One thing I didn't see a lot of with that defense during camp, Zach, is one, communicating loud, just talking, communicating with each other. That's something I didn't see a lot of. And actually, you don't see it in the games. And that's why there's times where there's some mental breakdowns and a huge play develops because you're not on the same page. But also, just the attention to detail of hitting the ball out, punching that ball out, ripping at it, getting the interceptions, being a little bit more aggressive. I did not see that a lot during camp. And if you don't practice the certain things and the fundamentals of turning the ball over, how are you supposed to get it in the game with full speed and everybody going 100 miles an hour? And now you're seeing it. So now you have to kind of retrain your thought process of getting turnovers, not just the sack if you're a pass rusher. Now it's about getting to the quarterback, hitting the ball out, and tackling at the same time, not just tackling the quarterback to get the sack. Or as a cornerback, it's knowing that you're going to play man. You're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive and look at the ball a little earlier so that you can get your hand on it. It's certain things like that that you have to reprogram your brain to do so that you can get the turnovers and give your offense more opportunities to score touchdowns.
Well, if you look at the top 5 teams by turnover margin, they're top 4, they're all double-digit game winners. All right, top 5, top 6, top 7 are all playoff teams in turnover margin. So it's something that can literally make or break a historical footprint like a Super Bowl winner, or a Super Bowl appearance or an AFC Championship game appearance.
Who can get turnovers, who does not turn the ball over, those teams usually win the game. If you can get a turnover, not turn the ball over, and have a big-time special team play, you're going to win that game. That's something that the Denver Broncos have to keep in their head throughout the playoffs.
But it's remarkable that we have talked about these similarities with the Super Bowl 50 team. Right, and we did a segment on it. We talked with Brandon Marshall about it, from the number of points that the Broncos defense gives up, and their scoring rank on offense. And Super Bowl 50 was in Santa Clara. This one's in Santa Clara. That team had a Payton. This team's got 2 Paytons. Kind of goes like that. But add this to the growing list. The 2015 Denver Broncos were also -4 in turnover differential. That is so unique. But that was a unique team that was built on defense, not offense. In fact, it was the opposite. The offense, Payton threw 17 picks that year and sat for a huge portion of the season. So there was a level of circumstance that led them to, -4. But to have this team -4 as well, it's just freaky, man.
It's destiny. We're destined to go to the Super Bowl, baby.
And excuse me, I misspoke. I said this team's -4, this team's -5. So one's -4, one's -5. So right neighbors next to one another. But that has got to change. That has got to change. What is Sean Payton saying about the sacks? Man, there's one thing. Sean sometimes will lose his patience with a certain topic and just shut it down. It feels like we're heading that direction with talking about sacks, because he was asked about it last week. He didn't like the question. Today he was asked about Benito's sack numbers slowing down as of late.
Not worried about the sacks. Worried about caging the quarterback, rushing him properly. We're not focused on the sack numbers. Those can actually be numbers that help a quarterback climb up in the pocket. A lot of it has to do with who we've been playing relative to the quarterback position. But I'm not interested in the sack numbers.
Not interested in the sack numbers. He said it 4 different times during a 17-second response.
Yeah.
I can appreciate what he's saying. And I know this team isn't worried about a record or historical status or anything. But there is something to be said about the last month of the season, how the sacks have gone down, the points per game for the opposition have gone up, and just general regression has sort of synced up with not getting after the passer at the same rate.
This is when I feel like we definitely have to listen to Sean, because the reason why Sean is so upset is because he's telling his players this. And if it is caging the quarterback, that means that the outside rushers, which is Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito, like, they have to stay home. They have to be disciplined to where now they can't just pin their ears back and go and get the quarterback. They have to play smart. They have to think a little bit more, and now they aren't getting those sacks. And now we're sitting here saying what's going on with Nick Bonito. And Nick Bonito's probably listening to us saying, man, if only you guys knew what's really going on. Now you guys are pissing me off. That's where Sean's coming in and saying, hey, guys, look, we could go and get these sacks. But I'm telling them, and Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, is telling them we're playing a different style right now because of these quarterbacks. Because if you go in there and you try to get this sack, you miss the sack and let these quarterbacks get outside of you like Trevor Lawrence did a couple times.
Sure.
They're gonna sustain drives, pick up a first down on a 3rd and 11. So this is where I'm going to take a step back and trust Sean, trust what VJ guys has going on. And when the playoffs come rolling around, we're going to see a different version of this defense where they're more aggressive like they have been, getting those sacks down the middle on the outside.
Well,
I know you want to see sacks. I do too. I want to see it. I want to see them being more aggressive and getting the sacks like they were earlier.
Yeah, and it's not from a point of like vanity to see where these Broncos stack up. Like, what does it matter to me? It's a general concern because I understand there's assignment football, right? And we don't know what these guys are being told to do on a play in, play out basis, but it is sort of mirroring one another. The general regression with the sack numbers going down. My eyes on it. It's on my radar. What did you think about Benito's running mate, Jonathan Cooper, tweeting up a storm over the weekend?
Yeah, Jay Coop, out of the blue. I mean, the Chiefs caught a stray bullet. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? I don't understand why Jonathan Cooper went out of his way to make those comments with the Chiefs when you just had something good happen to you guys, right? Like, this was all about you, and you guys winning the division. And you go out there and you say pretty much F the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then you circle back around and you say something else about them. Like you have some kind of grudge against them, like somebody said something bad about you towards, with them being a part of it. I didn't understand why he did it, Zach. It was uncalled for. My guessing is VJ and Sean called him right away saying, hey, dude, take that down.
Like, you think so?
Reason. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like you're representing not just yourself and your family, but you're representing us. And if it gets back to Greg, Mr. Penner up there,
sure,
then what happens? It was uncalled for and really out of the blue.
Well, if you guys didn't see it, I'll summarize it. He had a tweet that said F the Chiefs, but then circled back and said, B word made ass pansies. And he sent that at close to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he was getting after it and
celebrating.
Tweeted something that he regretted. I sort of look at it the same way. It's, you just beat the Chiefs with their 3rd-string quarterback. You've never won a playoff game. They're coming off a dynasty, and it's just like time and place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's uncalled for.
Yeah.
It's uncalled for. There are times, though, you get to 2 o'clock. Get to 2 o'clock, then you start talking to you.
There's no doubt about it.
Let me tweet this out real fast.
Oh, my gosh. Here's more of Sean Payton. How important, this is earlier today, how important is it to have home field during the playoffs?
Historically speaking, it's extremely important. Every study would show you, and there's a number of reasons for that. These games are 3 hours long. The first reason would be you skip a game in which you're at risk to do not play well, or an opponent all of a sudden have a great game. You skip the threat of potentially losing a game, if that makes any sense. And so you skip right to the next round, and then that be able to play in front of our fans with the crowd noise, the atmosphere. I don't know, it's been a while since they've hosted a playoff game. Certainly it's a fan base that deserves that opportunity, and I get excited for them, and I get excited for our team. So, man, all of it's important. And having been through this, like 9-10 other times, you've seen it all, and you recognize how important it is. The challenge of winning playoff games on the road and how much more difficult that is as opposed to trying to win them at home.
And it goes without saying, of course you want home field, but I like the way that Sean put it. Like, you're skipping an opportunity to screw up.
Yeah.
And it just takes one. It just takes, that loss to the Jacksonville Jags in 1996 and a game that you never should have lost, and it was unthinkable that you lost it. And it's like, but
it's the one-off games.
It's one-off games.
Who was better that day?
Yeah, and just skipping over an opportunity. It's I don't go swimming in the ocean. You're not going to find me off of a boat in the ocean. Why? And it could be 0.001% chance that something happens to me, but I just skip over that opportunity, and the chance of my survival and sticking around here on planet Earth just goes up.
I liked you, Zach.
0.11.
I'm not going in the ocean either.
No, thank you.
No humpback whales are coming to get me. You know you love your whales.
I do love my whales, but I will look at them from afar. Okay, what was our biggest takeaways after a crazy Week 17 in the NFL? That's next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports. Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Shop more than 30,000 square feet of RVs and campers, plus the best selection of off-grid and truck accessories, all at show prices. Sportsman's Expo, January 8th through 11th at the Colorado Convention Center in Denver.
Hey, it's Mike Evans with Todd Whalen from Advanced Tax Solutions. Well, Todd, it couldn't last forever. The government shutdown is over. The IRS is back and ready to roll. What does that mean for folks who have an IRS bullseye painted on their back?
Well, Mike, we've seen this once before. They were completely closed during the pandemic. And what happened? They came out with their gloves on and started levying people. So now, if you have an IRS problem, it's way better if you can get a solution before you get the levy notice. You have more options, you have more time, we have the ability to do a better job. So if you're ready and it's time to get this IRS problem off your back, now's the time.
All right, Todd, I get it. The IRS is back. They mean business, but you know what? You mean business too. You've been doing this for a long time. You're ready to help folks out with all of their IRS tax issues. Give Advanced Tax Solutions a call today, 303-753-6040. That's 303-753-6040.
Payton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Brandon Stokely here from Colorado's hometown HVAC team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Is your heating system struggling to perform and need to be traded? It has never been easier to get a quote for a new heating system. Rocks Heating and Air offers a free online heating and cooling quoting system so that you can quickly and accurately get pricing on a new system. Only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX rocks heating and air.
This holiday season, AutoNation is unwrapping the biggest gift of all. The car you actually want with zero down and no payments for 90 days. With our coast-to-coast inventory of nearly 100,000 new and used cars, trucks, and crossovers, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Zero down, no payments until April. That's the deal you deserve on the car you love. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation store or AutoNation.com. Limited term financing on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase on deferred payments. See store for details.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The holidays will be here before you know it, and for many families, that means excitement, but also stress. Between gifts, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out if you qualify. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000 or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter-Har Motors. Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Denver.
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, let's come off the top rope with it. All righty. A wacky week in the National Football League, and it's setting up for an epic Week 18. And there's a real reason the Broncos didn't get that Sunday night game, and we'll talk about why here. But it was another crazy week. How about Shedeur Sanders and the Browns upsetting
Throw up the watch.
the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Do the Shedeur.
What did you make of that?
I mean, Zach, it was an ugly game. Let's face it, it was not a good game.
13-6.
And shame on the Steelers. So you have a chance to lock it up for yourself, lock your playoff chances, that you're in there. Baltimore Ravens would be out. All you have to do is beat the Browns. You can't do that.
Crazy.
Come on, Aaron Rodgers. You guys think you guys are going to make some noise in the playoffs?
Scored 6 points.
Now, I do understand that DK Metcalf is dealing with beating up fans, and he has a 2-game suspension, so he'll be back. But good on Shedeur Sanders and good on the Browns to do their part, win their 4th game of the year, have a little bit of fun, and then for the Ravens, they're happy. They're happy because they're starting to heat up, and they know that the secret recipe to success for them is just handing the ball off to Derrick Henry now. So it was an interesting game, to say the least.
Man, you had Drake May going full MVP moment. A 42-10 absolute drubbing of the New York Jets. They are so bad. But Drake May to go 19 of 21. I mean, 90% completion, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
MVP, right? He's like, MVP me.
I mean, that is absolutely nuts. And what a performance. I'd like to have a further conversation about Drake May in more dedicated fashion at a certain point, but he looks like undeniable is what he looks like right now.
He looks really, really good, and Mike Vrabel, a hell of a coach, has done some things, tweaked the way that he thinks his process, and also the way he's getting the ball out of his hands. Very smart quarterback, and the New England Patriots are a tough team again. So, of course, there's a reason why they've won all these games, and someone like Drake May that could possibly win the MVP.
Yeah, I think he's going to win it. The Eagles-Bills in an ugly football game. It was the worst game I've seen Josh Allen play in a very long time. Unfamiliar sight. Like if you're seeing someone play poorly repeatedly, I can think of one. You just sort of get used to it.
I think you're just now opening your eyes. This has been Josh Allen for the whole year.
Oh, stop. He really struggled in a way that I'm seriously unfamiliar seeing. A couple huge mistakes, really ugly football game. 13-12, all 12 Bills points came in the fourth quarter.
I mean, Zach, and at the end there, I understand you go for 2 because you're like, hey, does it really matter if we win or lose? If we win, great. If we lose, we're still in the playoffs. And a little bit of seeding doesn't change for them. They're on the road.
Yep.
But then you got someone like Josh that goes out there, rolls out with the easy pass, correct? Like a high school quarterback can make that play. What's going on?
Could Phillip Lindsay playing quarterback make that play?
Put me in, coach. Put me on the left-hand side. Oh, yeah, I'm taking that one. I'm throwing it in for a touchdown, doing my Aaron Rodgers belt dance.
It was almost shocking to see. It was almost shocking because he's so accurate with the football. And, man, it just goes to show you, man, like that is the equivalent of an NBA player in the open court missing a layup.
Yep.
And it does happen. But that was a string of errors that he had yesterday. Just the decision.
Choke your job. We'll go with that.
it just wasn't a good day for my guy Joshua. But a 13-12 loss to Philly. And I asked the question last week, or maybe it was the week before, and I forget who was in here, but I don't think we were alone. I'm like, are we sure Philly is done? Because that defense is still super real, and if they're healthy in the trenches, man, I think that we may have collectively, as an NFL community, sort of put them in the grave a little bit early.
Yeah, and you know what? That we were talking to Will. Of course, we were talking to Will on that one right there. But you're right. With Philly's defense doing what they're doing, getting into the playoffs again, and we know how the Eagles have done in the playoffs. They've been there before. The quarterback has done it. The running back has done it. So that's something that they're going to have to watch out for. Whoever has to play them is they've done it before. There's experience there to try to get to another Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're like when we talk about them, it's almost as if they're not 11-5. They're 11-5. I mean, they're 6-3 on the road. So I don't know, man. It's wide open. It would not shock me at all, Phil, if they're playing in the NFC Championship game with a chance to punch another Super Bowl ticket, which I think would be their third in 4 years or 5 years, whatever it is. So let's keep our eye on that football team. Anything else? Anything else stick out? Dante, if you got anything. I mean, we had the games on Saturday. The Lions are just cooked. They're just not a good football team. At a certain point, seeing is believing. They're an 8-8 football team, decimated by injury again, which is what held them back last year in the playoffs.
The Packers are another one that they're going to have to watch out, because if they're not healthy going into the playoffs, what do they look like?
Right. They got curb stomped by a Ravens team that feels like it's waking up a little bit, getting back to their physical running identity. Dante, you got something there behind the glass?
Yeah, the NFC South just stinks.
So bad.
Tampa, Carolina, both of them could go out and try to win the division. Neither of them win last weekend. It's just no one wants to win that division.
No, they really don't. And how about this? And I know this is not at the top of mind, nor should it be, but I do want to mention it. Tyler Shuck and the Saints. Hey, that kid can play. All right? And
4-game win streak.
4-game win streak. And he throws for over 300 yards on a completion percentage that has got to be approaching 90%, 22 of 27. So whatever that is, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Man, and you know who their leading rusher was?
Okay, shout out to Audric Estime. 14 carries, 94 yards, a touchdown.
Unbelievable. Audric Estime.
Why would we get rid of him, Zach? You was bringing that table. Bring it back.
Oh my gosh. I mentioned it at one point, but yeah, good for him. That's the best game he's ever played. Not even close.
Yeah, the attitude, right? Attitude. Mentally, you're a practice squad player. because he was a practice squad player.
Yep.
Elevate it, take advantage of your opportunity, which he did, almost 100 yards. That's how you do it, man.
All right, next in the 3 count.
1, 2.
What we thought at one point could be historically dominant, I am starting to question the status of that sentence when it comes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who on the surface, they're 27-5. Still one of the great starts in recent NBA history, but in the last 10 games, they are just 6-4 with a trio of losses to the San Antonio Spurs on their resume. We talked about that late last week. But yeah, sort of coming back down to earth a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have to go through some adversity. You can't just think that you're going to run the league and then get into the playoffs and play really good basketball. Like, yeah, that's a perfect world, but you better still accumulate some more scars, which the Thunder seem to be doing. But we'll see, man. We'll see if they have it in them or if they're soft as Sherman, that toilet paper.
Well, I believe, and I mentioned this last week to Dover and Cecil in the crosstalk, I believe that the NBA MVP race will come down to the number of wins that the Oklahoma City Thunder have. If they have 73 wins, SGA is going to get the league's MVP. But even if it's like 68, 69, if that number doesn't start with a 7, man,
going to our boy Jokic.
What Jokic has done this year is just historical by definition. It's Wilt Chamberlain in the modern age, and I think that basketball people will be more apt to vote for Jokic if the win total for OKC starts with a 6 and not a 7.
I love it. And then for SGA, it's like you won yours. You're going to have to earn this next one. For Jokic, you're doing it. He's earning it every single game. Every time he steps foot on that court, he does something special.
All right, speaking of special, we got another sign over the weekend that something special is brewing in Denver sports. We'll tackle it next.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Her face lights up whenever you're around.
That's why the diamond you give her can't be like any other.
At Williams Jewelers, exceptional brilliance is in our DNA. I'm Bruce Williams.
And I'm Steve Williams. We grew up in the diamond business.
And as direct diamond importers, we personally hand select every diamond.
Going through hundreds at a time, looking for what really matters. Life.
Like people, no two diamonds are the same.
Some just sit there. And then there are those rare gems that explode with fire and brilliance.
A diamond that shines like no other.
And surprisingly, it's rarely about price. No one sells a more beautiful diamond for less. That's the Williams Diamond Guarantee.
So if you found the woman who loves like no other,
give her the diamond that shines like no other from Williams Jewelers,
where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
The official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Williams Jewelers, where Colorado shines.
This holiday season, don't drink and drive. But if you are in an accident, you're in luck. Flanagan Law, where strength meets compassion. While the other guys blend in, I stand out. Look for the Shamrock. Flanagan Law, your advocate when you need it most.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 1043, The Fan.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. You know, in the game of life, our most valuable asset is our health.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
What a wonderful time for family and friends, reflection, and planning forward. It's holiday time. Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Home Improvements. Thinking of putting off that home makeover till after the holidays? Well, good, because opportunity is knocking. We'll help you plan forward with 16% holiday savings on your project or a great financing special to book now for installation after the festivities. Now is the time to get started. Todd?
You bet. First-class kitchen updates with our own custom-built cabinets or Done Right's unique cabinet refacing, elegant bathrooms, top-notch basement finishing, and the finest in replacement windows and doors. Our family's been serving Colorado for decades, and we'd love to serve you too. Call and book your project now to secure your 16% savings or a great financing special.
Thanks, Todd. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right. 303-722-2295 or drhi.com.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastery at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? You get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
Kick off 2026 with your 10-time national champions, your Denver Pioneers hockey team in Magnus Arena, January 2nd and 3rd.
Took it into the offensive end, now taken away. Here's Rieger Lorenz. Two Tigers got bodied up with each other. Lorenz in front, backhanded, a save made by Americo. The best chance of the night for Denver.
BU will host Maine. Denver Hockey versus Maine, presented by Wendy's. Tickets available online now. See you in 2026.
HelloFresh helps you cook fresh, delicious, wholesome meals every weeknight for a healthier you in each bite. This is more than just dinner. It's feel-good made from scratch. HelloFresh. Nothing hits like home cooking. Try now at HelloFresh.com.
Catch Telestrator Tuesday weekly on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, where Stink or Stoke dive into the past weekend's games with a coach's eye, using insights into what went right and wrong on critical plays. Telestrator Tuesdays, powered by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank.
Want to partake in our contests? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com. Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
We got another sign over the weekend, as if we needed another. That something special is brewing in Denver sports.
Another one.
And if I'm talking about someone in Denver sports that I say I don't think we need another sign to know that something special is brewing, you may have guessed I am talking about the Colorado Avalanche, who have won 7 in a row. 7. But on Saturday night at Vegas, it was a later start. And it was a game where the Avs are down 2 goals heading into the third period. And the resilience of this group and the mastery of the third period.
The comeback in the third period.
I mean, this is the best third period team I have ever laid eyes on. And I got another piece of evidence to back up that statement on Saturday night.
I mean, you know how we talk about Bo Nix and crunch time situations, clutch time situations. We talk about usually Jokic and Jamal, and we talked about this year it's a little different. But usually when they're in clutch time situations, they come out on top. Well, the Colorado Avalanche do the exact same thing in the third period. When the third period shows up, you put the threes in the air if that's what you want to do.
I mean,
that. They just turn it on. They focus. The focus is just a little bit different. The stars come out to play. The stars are really shining during those times. And I'm talking about Netches. I'm talking about Nate Dogg. The players that you need to produce end up producing when it matters the most. And that's when you know you're a great hockey team.
Well, that is what we're looking at. 7 wins in a row. You brought Netchus up. He had a pair of goals and scored in the shootout. And the Avs, we talked about this very recently. Man, the Avs have really struggled in the shootout setting. And it almost defies logic, the same way that their power play, the fact that it's one of the worst in the league, it defies logic considering you're playing a man up and with all that skill.
That's their first shootout that they've won.
Correct. So I mean, it was just another benchmark victory, and you look up. So I mentioned 7 in a row, but the Avs have registered a point. I can't believe this is true. The Avs have registered a point in 27 of their last 28 games. They're 23-1-4 during that stretch. They also improved on Saturday night in Vegas to 9-1-2 in their last 12 games on the road.
I mean, Zach, this is why we always talk about, and we talked about before the season started, like cup or bust. You have to go and do it now.
Yeah.
You're dominating. You have everything going for you. You have no chinks in your armor, it seems like. We know the power play needs to continue to grow. We know that. Other than that, like, what else do you want? As long as this team can stay healthy, and they seem like they are staying healthy, and they're going to get a couple other guys back here soon, I mean, they have enough to win it all. And it comes down to, if they don't win it all, this is a bust of a year. And this is a lot of work for those men to go 82 games and end up not winning it all.
Yeah, and that's, if there was a concern, it is you're so dominant in the regular season and you're putting so much energy. And look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not complaining. But if I'm going to highlight a concern with a team that doesn't seem like it has chinks in their armor, to use your phrase, it would be that the physical exhaustion of finishing a marathon before the postseason marathon starts. And we've seen it through the years, most recently with the Boston Bruins, who are the greatest regular season team ever and fell way short of their goal. And so, again, you want them to win these games. I just hope that they're not, being physically and mentally to the point of exhaustion here over a 6-month period.
No, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. But also, here's the thing. The Avs have started so hot, so strong, that here towards the end of the season, if they can continue to do this, they'll get those built-in rest days or the rest games.
Yep.
If you don't want to play Nathan McKinnon, Kale, Netchus, where they're like, hey, look, we have this locked up. We have the number 1 spot. We know what we can do in the playoffs. Let's give you guys that rest, and that's assuming that they keep this streak going and this strength going. It's like start fast, finish strong, and it seems like they're going to do this as long as they can stay healthy.
Well, knock on wood in that department. All right. It was, and then by the way, it's like they come back, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was Netchus and Sammy G who scored in the third.
Yeah.
To pull even, and then Vegas scores late. And they're thinking that the game's over. It was just under 5 minutes. They scored. It's like, yeah, you guys came all the way back, but now you guys are down again. And it was Lecky, who finds a way to get it in the back of the net. Now you're going in overtime in a way that you have struggled, whether it's in overtime or in a shootout, and they finally get a shootout win. It's, really cool. Just a really, really fun season. Lecky, man, goal with a minute 57 left, tied that game. And forced, how about this? The Knights to their 15th overtime game this season. 15 overtime games before the new year begins. And for as much as the Avs, and we've chronicled this for months, as much as they have struggled in the overtime setting and the shootout setting, how about Vegas? For 15 overtime games, they are 4-11. In overtime this season.
See, that doesn't feel good. Where it's like, here we go with another overtime game. You're tired, and you still don't know how to break through. Whereas for the Avs, it's like, hey, we're finding ways to break through, and finally we end that curse and win in a shootout, which is like, crazy to think, knowing who we have on this roster, and we still struggle with that.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a bugaboo, and hopefully you can get some of the monkey off your back. The Kings 1-5 in shootouts. So this is two teams that just really struggle in that setting. So someone had to win, and it was the team that does a lot of it. Win. The only team in the NHL that has 60 points.
You mean the Knights, though, 1-5.
Or yeah.
The Kings are who they're playing tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mixed it up. Yes, Kings tonight. The Knights, Vegas, 1-5 in shootouts. 63 points. No one else in the NHL has more than 57, and that is Dallas. If you look at the Eastern Conference, you're talking about like a point total that leads the conference is 49 points, and the Avs have 63. It's nuts.
It's a wagon. That's what a wagon looks like.
That is what a wagon looks like.
Son, when my son asked, what's a wagon? The Colorado Avalanche.
Yes,
son.
yes.
That's what it looks like. That's a wagon for you.
I love it. All right. Hey, the Elway documentary came out here during Christmas break. We watched it. What was our biggest takeaway from the doc about the most famous person in the history of Colorado sports? And I want to hear from you guys too. If you guys watch that, and it doesn't have to be any sort of huge deal, but whether it was an observation or something new that you learned, let us know. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. Our biggest takeaways about the most famous person in the history of Colorado sports and his documentary that came out. We'll give our observations next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports. Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You will feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I know from personal experience, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Dan Jacobs for 303 Law 4040, and I'm here with that beautiful voice you hear on the other end of the phone oftentimes when you call 303 Law 4040. It's my lovely wife, Kimberly. Kim, I know you and I had so much fun the other day. We actually met with a couple that had been in an accident up north in their house the other day, and Randy was so excited. He's like, I can't believe it. It's the lovely wife. She's right here in my kitchen.
He's too kind. It was really great to meet him and his wife and his pets and just be able to help them.
I think it helps that when you answer the phone, when people call 303 Law 4040, it makes things, I know calling a lawyer can be scary, but I don't know, your soothing voice just makes it a little bit easier.
Well, I just want to help. That's all. And I know how to do that.
I love the holidays. I always like to wish our listeners happy holidays. Would you like to do so as well?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful new year.
And I hope you never need us, but just in case, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303-LAW-4040.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Woodley's Fine Furniture, specializing in custom upholstery, solid wood, and the most comfortable leather furniture imaginable. You will not find better built furniture than at Woodley's. Visit woodleys.com today.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, so I want to just spend a minute talking about the John Elway documentary on Netflix that came out on the 22nd. And
we got to talk about it. We got to talk about The Drive. On The Drive.
Yeah, and you want to know what? It was pretty cool. And obviously this is something I knew for a very long time. But, like, explaining to my wife and mom, because we all watched it on Saturday morning. No, it wasn't Saturday morning. It was before Christmas. I forget which day. It was a morning. Felt like a Saturday. All these days have felt like Saturday. And it was cool because the drive against the Browns, you know, they made it a big part of the doc. And explaining to them, like, this is why the name of my radio show exists with Phil, The Drive. Like, it's iconic. And, you
Thanks
know,
to Elway.
Thanks to Elway.
Crazy.
What did you make of the doc?
You know, one, I liked it. And I got to see the thing about Elway to me is I was young when Elway was having his success.
Yeah.
And even when he had the Super Bowls, I was still young.
Yeah.
When I got to meet.
Most of it, you weren't born.
No, exactly. When I got to meet Mr. Elway, he was John Elway, the general manager.
Sure.
He was John Elway, my boss, which is completely different than what he was when he was our age, Zach, or he was fighting for something as a player. And so watching that doc and seeing what he went through and how much pressure was put on him to be the Duke here of Denver, to try to win a Super Bowl, and it just shows you how hard it is to win in this league. And Elway would get to the mountain, almost to the mountaintop, and then not be able to get that Super Bowl win. And it took him until 37 years old to finally break through and get his first Super Bowl.
Crazy.
You know, but it was a great doc that showed how hard he worked and that he hated losing. And this is why, to me, I was like, I wish that when he was our general manager, he was around and we got to really see how he was as just a person.
Yeah.
And that he showed that same emotion that he did when he was a player. And probably he did when they had a chance and they did win that Super Bowl with Peyton Manning.
Well, his drive was incredible. His drive to be great. And I think my overarching takeaway, to not like get down in the trenches and talk about it scene by scene, I think my bigger takeaway was, one, I was really hoping that it was going to uncover us a bunch of stuff that I did not know. And I knew most of the stuff in it. However, there was one thing that I learned that I knew, but I didn't fully understand. I only had a little bit of context. Terry Bradshaw and John Elway's beef.
Yeah.
I did not quite realize it went back to before he was drafted, and that it was that long standing, and then blasting John in the media in a really kind of aggressive way.
And he was smiling about it. Like he
Very
was just
much
happy
so.
that John couldn't win.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it came down to.
Yeah, and at one point saying, I'm not going to say he's some great winner. That would mean I'm wrong. And I'm like, man, Terry did not come off well to me, Terry Bradshaw. Now I have to keep in mind though, and I referenced this a couple weeks ago before it's released, and I really don't like this era of documentary making, because John has the final say on everything that appears in the doc.
Yeah.
And when that's the case, as it was for The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, you get one version of the story, and it's your version. And I was a little bit surprised. Well, to finish the Terry Bradshaw stuff, I didn't realize that it was that deeply personal. I can't imagine how that must have impacted John when he was playing, when he wasn't winning, that there's this other legendary quarterback who dumps on you, like on a fairly regular basis. But then for Elway to get the Lombardi trophy handed to him by Bradshaw, certainly not by Terry's choice. This was the role that he was going to be in for that Super Bowl, and you don't know what network is going to have it, what year, because they rotated.
Yeah.
And so for John to win the Super Bowl and have Terry Bradshaw hand him the trophy to make it a full circle moment for John was, I thought, really interesting.
No, I mean, and I don't know, we don't know the details with Bradshaw and John, where it really is. But I do know, I understand when you have someone like John who's young, who hasn't been in the league yet, and he's coming out to the media saying, look, I don't want to be there in Baltimore with the Colts. And I told him that. It comes off as just okay, you think you run this place, this NFL, when you haven't even played a down yet. And then you struggled at the beginning, and someone like Terry Bradshaw was happy about that, because it's this young buck thinks that he knows it all. He's struggling. He got benched the first game, everything. So it was a lot dramatic there, and I didn't know too much about Terry Bradshaw. But the other thing that I thought was interesting was, Elway getting past, winning that Super Bowl at 37 years old, coming back to back, and winning another one at 38 years old, and then being done, and then all of a sudden things just kind of go the wrong way for him when it comes to his father passing.
Yeah.
His marriage not doing well,
Yeah.
the kids and the relationship there wasn't doing well, and
twin
then sister passing as well.
Yeah.
It's man, you're on top, you're on the mountaintop and feeling good about yourself. You retire, you're saying you're going to give back to your family now, and everything's about them, and then it just disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to feel some type of way, and this is where you start to think man, all great players like Tom Brady, like Michael Jordan, like John Elway, they give so much to the game that there's just not enough time in the day to go around for everybody else. And so everybody else suffers while you're doing this. And in the end, you end up suffering because you have all this glory. You have everything, but you end up with nothing. And I think that's the thing, too, is you have everything. You have the trophies. You don't take the trophies to the grave with you.
Yeah.
You don't take the game balls to the grave with you. When you walk into a house and it's quiet, why did you do all this if you don't have anything?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, that window of time sounded like it was really rough on him, and he's still getting emotional about it, to this day, or whenever they shot it. How about that house in Coeur d'Alene? Oh my God, it's just
beautiful.
It's stunning. It's stunning. Yeah, and they, it featured his ex-wife a lot. Not his current wife, who he's been married to for a while. Over 15 years, I think. She was heavily featured in it. And one of the things that stuck out to me, and this is, I guess, nothing to do about nothing except as it relates to her and their dynamic at the time, where just how great of an athlete his wife was. And she felt like she lost her identity in John, because here she was as a swimmer, and just a great swimmer, not a good swimmer, a great swimmer.
Both went to Stanford. And she's elite at what she does. And then she doesn't even know John. And that's kind of, one of the things that draws John to her, because everyone is celebrating him. They're chanting his name as a freshman. This guy was the top recruit, ever. But then later when they say, hey,
Mom was really good too, but she lost that identity because John absorbed it in how big his profile became. I just thought that was an interesting part of it, and what else? I mean, I thought we were going to hear from more former teammates.
You're right. You know, that's something I was thinking of because I watched it last night.
Yeah.
And we didn't hear a lot from his teammates.
No, just a couple.
Just one
Shannon
or two,
Sharp,
maybe three.
Yeah, but
and that's something too. It's like if you have a good relationship with your teammates, they're gonna want to come back and brag about you because you helped everybody, not just Broncos country, bring their first ever Super Bowl, but also these players too, and you helped them get to the mountaintop and win a championship, but also make a little bit of money back in their day. And there wasn't a lot of them that were part of this documentary, and I would have thought there was a little bit more that wanted to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, and don't forget, like, John gets to decide, everything here. So what teammates they talk to, and then when they did talk to those teammates, what footage gets shown,
And there's one thing that's like, okay, is this going to hinder the Denver Broncos of the 2025? When John won the Super Bowl, you had a run game. You had TD, Terrell Davis, and he was a big part of the two Super Bowl wins. Big part. Even when Terrell Davis couldn't see because his vision was all blurry, he was a decoy to help set up for a touchdown run for John.
Right.
The 2025/2026 Denver Bronco team, can they win if they don't have that type of run game? And then I text you, I was in my feelings. I text you, I said, man, does Bo have a Terrell Davis? The answer right now is no. Can the run game get going? Yeah. I mean, all it takes is a really good block and RJ Harvey to see it, set it up, and be explosive during the playoffs, and it's going to help us out. But if we're going to win these playoff games and get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, you got to have balance.
It's a great question, a question that we're going to be asking and talking about here for weeks, I think, leading up to the Broncos appearing in the postseason. And I have to say this, and people will roll their eyes, okay? And it's not an exact parallel. But I found myself thinking about watching this and some of the dynamics that surrounded John, and it's not an exact parallel, so please don't take it in the literal sense. But I thought about Josh Allen. This incredible physical talent who can throw it the way like John could, who is so physically gifted, who is asked to elevate an entire operation for many years at a time. John was, and this is no disrespect, but like John was the best part about those teams that were going to the Super Bowl, and it wasn't even close or debatable. He was in some cases, and I don't like using the phrase because there's 22 starters, but in some cases kind of dragging those teams.
That's what it seemed like.
And then you have this reputation as someone who can't win, the big one. But it's like, man, there's so much context to that. John's not out there playing one-on-one. Josh Allen's not out there playing one-on-one. And probably the wrong day to talk about Allen after how poorly he played yesterday. But in general, through the years. Really interesting documentary.
You just had to put it in there like, thanks a lot, Elway. You could have drafted Josh.
Well, that's you know what? It ties a full circle because, of course, that Josh Allen wanted to be a Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
He told me that to my face at the 2018 Super Bowl. So, anyway, interesting documentary. What would you give it out of 10 if you were like Siskel and Ebert?
Because I already knew a lot about it, I'm going to give it a 7.
I like that.
It a 7. I wanted him to go deeper into things we just didn't know about him. Some of the dark times, the great times, not just football, John.
Yeah. All right. If you want to react to any of that conversation, you can hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. The final chapter of the NFL season is going to be a doozy for the Broncos. We'll talk about why coming up next.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket ahead of the holidays. That's possible when you call American Financing. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills piling up, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and credit card rates are insane, in the 20s or even 30s. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt with rates in the low 5s. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and save money every month, all without upfront fees. Their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise without having to change jobs. Call now before it's too late at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. You know, in the game of life, our most valuable asset is our health.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Mike Evans here for Copperhead Plumbing. Your home doesn't have to flood before you know there's a problem. With the Mow and Flow Smart Water Shutoff System, you can monitor your home's water usage in real time right from your phone. You'll get notified the moment a leak starts. Trust Copperhead Plumbing for professional installation. Ask about installing a Mow and Flow system today.
Copperhead Plumbing, built to last. Call us once, you'll forget the past.
Copperhead Plumbing. They plumb different. They plumb custom.
Between all the holiday parties,
Weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
Take Mortgage Corp, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. Are you a first-time home buyer? Are you trying to lower your existing mortgage payment? Do you need cash from your equity? For most people, getting a mortgage means endless paperwork and weeks of anxiety. But with Cake Mortgage, our process is simple, fast, and hassle-free. Whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or looking to tap your home's equity, our team guides you step by step so you always know what's next. Our thousands of 5-star customer reviews will tell you no one can do what Cake can. So stop stressing and start saving fast with Cake. Your fresh-baked Cake home mortgage is ready to enjoy. So don't wait. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com. To learn more now.
All of us at Williams Jewelers are proud to have been chosen as the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
You see, we're Denver's experts when it comes to ice.
The ice that you wear. I'm Shayna Williams.
And I'm Dylan Williams. Here at Williams Jewelers, you'll find Denver's largest selection of truly fine diamonds and diamond jewelry.
From our legendary Williams Diamond Bar, with almost every size, shape, and price range of GIA-graded natural diamonds.
To diamond engagement rings, diamond tennis bracelets and bangles, to necklaces and diamond earrings, our selection is stunning.
And Williams Martini Diamond Studs are a must for every woman, and we stock every size and price range.
So, if you want to be the star player of the game,
if you want to make the ultimate power play,
give her the only ice that lasts forever. Diamonds from Williams Jewelers.
The official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
This holiday season, AutoNation is unwrapping the biggest gift of all, the car you actually want with 0 down and no payments for 90 days. With our coast-to-coast inventory of nearly 100,000 new and used cars, trucks, and crossovers, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. 0 down, no payments until April. That's the deal you deserve on the car you love. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation store or AutoNation.com. Limited term financing on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase on deferred payments. See store for details.
Hey guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start the treatment, you're going to wish you'd done it sooner. All the guys I know go to Synergenics and Low T Center for TRT. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars, and the testo is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. Get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com.
Get ready for every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins The Drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter R Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, fun conversation about the Elway doc. And we turn our eyes towards Week 18, the final chapter of the NFL season. Man, oh man, oh man. How about just in general, just as an NFL fan, you're going to have Ravens versus Steelers on Sunday Night Football with the winner getting the crown of the AFC North. All right.
That right there, man. You win and you're in. You say you want to say you win and you're in?
Yeah.
If the Ravens win, they get an opportunity. If the Steelers win, you get an opportunity to go to the dance.
Man, and then you have a Panthers against the Bucks with the winner of that game winning the NFC South.
That's gonna be an ugly one, man.
You know,
think about the meltdown for the Bucks and what they've been going through for the past couple weeks.
Yeah,
getting beat by the Falcons and then getting beat by the Dolphins. I mean, come on. And then of course for the Panthers, that's a great feel-good story for that whole the quarterback, the coach, just the franchise over there. So let's see what they can do.
And that's going to be on Saturday afternoon at 2:30 on ABC, and then at 6 o'clock at night, you're going to have Seattle against San Francisco, with the winner of that game with the NFC winning the NFC West, but also getting the number 1 seed in the NFC. Like, whoa. That is big boy stakes right there between a 13-win Seahawks team and a 12-4 49ers team.
The question is going to become, can Sam Darnold stay hot? Brock Purdy is heating up. He's looking like that franchise quarterback over there, you know, making people miss, eyes downfield, moving the ball, and you don't have your number 1 receiver?
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers are going crazy.
You agree he's a franchise quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Brock Purdy makes some plays now.
Dude, this guy, and I need to say this, because I think a huge portion of Broncos country gets frustrated. I'm not going to say a huge. A portion of Broncos country gets really frustrated with Bo Nix and his lack of flowers and his lack of attention.
Yeah.
But someone like Brock Purdy, I feel like still even going into this week, if you asked NFL fans, like, would you trade out your quarterback for Brock Purdy, or is Brock Purdy a true blue franchise quarterback? Like, it's still so lukewarm on Brock Purdy, and I'm like, what else do you need to see?
Yeah, this year should be able to seal the deal for Brock Purdy, because his defense has been banged up. Offensively, they've been banged up, and they have some of their players that didn't even play yesterday. You didn't have George Kittle in the game because of his ankle.
Yeah, and he's been banged up too.
Yes, he has been banged up. The big left tackle, Williams.
Yes, Trent Williams.
He went out with a hamstring.
He did.
But Brock Purdy yet puts up the points, finds ways to help his team. What are they, 12 wins now?
12-4.
12-4.
Crazy.
You got to put that aside. Brock Purdy, yes, he was a late round draft pick mean, nobody thought about him, but he's a damn good quarterback, has been to a Super Bowl already.
Yes.
And he's heating up at the right time. And, of course, he still has some weapons. And Christian McCaffrey is coming along, and as long as he can stay healthy, they're going to have a chance. But, man, it starts with that quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't go to a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I think that Brock Purdy's terrific. I really do, and I still think he's being slept on. Wasn't Sam Darnold in this exact position a year ago?
He was with San Fran.
Yeah, with San Fran against no. Excuse me. That was Minnesota and Detroit. They were like 2 14-game winners.
But Sam Darnold wasn't Sam Darnold on the team in San Francisco.
Yes,
he was behind.
Yes.
Yeah, but not last year.
Not
that
last
was
year.
previous.
Yeah. I'm confusing that. Who was the quarterback last year for the Vikings?
Sam Darnold.
It was Sam Darnold.
Yeah. It was Minnesota and Detroit.
Yes.
That's what you just said.
Yeah. So last year, right around this time, I think it was week 17 instead of week 18. But it was like the latest game in NFL history, or the most wins both teams put together in NFL history in a game that late in the season. And I just, Sam Darnold, he kind of turned into a pumpkin. And I wonder if that's waiting for him again. I mean, he still has a lot to prove despite being on a 13-win team. Dante, you have a fun Sam Darnold stat for us.
I do. There are 5 quarterbacks to win 13 games in back-to-back seasons. It's Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Sam Darnold.
Unbelievable. And he did it with 2 different teams. That is remarkable. Wow. That is a fun stat. So we found out earlier today that the Chargers are not going to play Justin Herbert. It's not the exact same, but it's going to be similar to Week 18 last year. Different stakes. Last year was win and you're in. This is win and you have the number 1 seed against a team that is purposefully not going to be at full strength. What do you think the mindset will be from these Denver Broncos?
Hungry, all about business, and getting that number 1 spot. This is about the number 1 seed. You can't care about your neighbor's yard. You can't care about what's going on over there. That's their issue. Our issue is, can we find a way to secure the number 1 seed? Can we find a way to have the best possible option path, as we should say, the path to the Super Bowl? And that's winning on Sunday against the Chargers team that's not going to have Justin Herbert, and my guessing is not going to have a couple other starters that are banged up. So go in there with the mindset of just dominating. All right, dominating. Put touchdowns on the board, not field goals, touchdowns, defense. Get a couple turnovers, get sacks. Just get back to what you do best. Get your mojo back so that we have confidence and we have the rhythm going into the playoffs that we need so that we can make this run at home.
Well, it's a big one. It's a huge one. And a Chargers win, if the Broncos were to, I'm just going to say blow this, because it feels like you would have to blow it to lose this game. The Vegas number has ballooned all the way up to 11.5 points. It opened at 2.5, okay? So, yeah, a Chargers win in a crazy scenario would likely drop the Broncos to the 3rd seed. And assuming the Patriots and Jags, who are both heavy favorites, win their games, it would set up an immediate rematch at Empower Field in the wild card round with the Chargers. So, hey,
just handle business.
Go handle your business.
Just win this game.
Yes. Okay, we'll circle back to Broncos here shortly, but first, there's an unhealthy trend that keeps on popping up on the Denver Sports radar that we need to keep a close eye on here. I'll tell you what it is next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports. Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Enjoy this run to the playoffs and be safe when you're going to the games or to parties. If you do get into an accident, make the right call to Flanagan Law. While the other guys blend in, I stand out. Look for the Shamrock, Flanagan Law, your advocate when you need it most.
The West isn't just a place, it's a feeling. And this January 10th through the 25th, the National Western Stock Show presented by Common Spirit Health brings the heart of the West to Denver. So saddle up for 16 days of rodeo action, family fun, and championship livestock. This is where tradition meets excitement. This is who we are. We are the West. Tickets available at nationalwestern.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Toyotathon is on at Corwin Toyota. Save big when you lease a new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for just $369 down and $369 a month, or drive off in a new 2025 RAV4 XLE for as little as $399 down and $399 a month. Unwrap your holiday savings during the Toyotathon sales event. Visit us off Pearl Parkway or shop online at CorwinToyotaBoulder.com. Corwin Toyota, family driven for over 100 years.
HelloFresh helps you cook fresh, delicious, wholesome meals every weeknight for a healthier you in each bite. This is more than just dinner. It's feel-good made from scratch. HelloFresh, nothing hits like home cooking. Try now at HelloFresh.com.
Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
Hey guys, feeling cooped up this winter? Mark Schlereth here. You know these Colorado nights can get freezing cold with your furnace running non-stop just to keep things cozy. But here's the thing. While your heating system is working overtime, it's also blowing dust, dirt, and debris through your air ducts and straight into the air you breathe. That's where Ductworks comes in. Your trusted air duct cleaning experts. Using a powerful combination of scraping and vacuuming technology, the Ductworks team clears out years of buildup, grime, and other gunk hiding in your ductwork. The results? Cleaner, fresher air, better energy efficiency and a healthier home or office for you and your family. Don't wait until spring. Breathe easier now with top-rated service from Ductworks. Call them at 303-425-0985 or visit them online today at ductworks.com for a free residential or commercial estimate.
303-425-0985. This is Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Hall of Famer, wishing you happy holidays from my friends at Colorado Credit Union. The holidays are all about family, giving, and looking ahead to a great new year. And just like a great team, Colorado Credit Union is here to support you, whether it's saving for holiday gifts, planning for the future, or just making life a little easier. From everyone at Colorado Credit Union, season's greetings and have a happy and healthy 2026. Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank. Membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by Step Denver, a nonprofit solution to addiction and homelessness.
It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
There's an unhealthy trend that keeps on popping up on the Denver sports radar that I want to keep a close eye on.
You're not liking it?
No, I don't like it, and it's an unfamiliar sight to see this frequently. What the heck am I talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? You're always looking at things with so much detail, Zach. So what are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking, Phil, about the Denver Nuggets continuously losing games in the clutch. And this is not the first time we've talked about it, and it's not the second time we've talked about it. All right, I brought this up after the third loss of the year. And the Denver Nuggets were 10-3 at that time. And it was on my radar then. It's getting larger. If it's like the rear view mirror, like that image is getting larger. Okay. Getting into the clutch with the Nuggets used to be like a formality of a win for Denver. It was just a formality. And there's that phrase in sports, if you're even, you're beat.
Yeah.
That was the case on the macro when it came to, hey, if you're in a clutch game, and clutch defined by the game's within 5 points, 5 minutes, or in less than 5 minutes left in the game. And that's winning time in the NBA. And forever, if you were even with the Nuggets, you were beat, because Jokic and Murray were going to out-execute you 8 times out of 10. And the Denver Nuggets lost that overtime game to Golden State to start the year. And then in late October, they lost a 2-point game at Portland. And then in mid-November, they lost a 3-point game at home to a Bulls team that had lost 5 games in a row before.
That one was ugly, sir.
It was. And then a week later, the Nuggets lost a clutch game to the Sacramento Kings, of all teams, who were riding an 8-game losing streak.
That was because of Russ. Russ was cooking that night.
Yeah, Russ was cooking that night. There was a clutch loss to the San Antonio Spurs without Victor Wembanyama. There was a clutch loss to the Dallas Mavericks last week, a 1-point loss in Dallas. And on Saturday night, another clutch loss to the Orlando Magic, 127-126. The Nuggets are actually 4-7 in games decided by 5 points or less, and that is just, given the history and track record, it's almost shocking that they're continually losing these games.
So then what's going on? Because to me, you have Jamal Murray playing the best basketball of his life.
Yep.
Jokic, who's doing his part, making history, it seems like, every time he touches the court. And yet, they're not doing what they're usually doing, and it's executing in crunch time minutes. The only thing that comes to my mind, Zach, now correct me if I'm wrong or give me the pushback, is you have Jokic and Jamal having to play more minutes than they really want to. Why? Because there's a bunch of players that are hurt, starting players that are hurt. All right, you got CB, Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson. All 3 of your starters are out. So now your backups are having to be starters.
Right.
And now the backups that usually don't even touch the court, they're touching the court as backups. And now you're not getting those non-Jokic minutes that you really need, because your backup players that will help you with that are your starters, like I just got done explaining. That's the only thing I can think of that's kind of hurting the Denver Nuggets in crunch time situations because they're having to exert so much energy and they're tired and they're wore out and they're fatigued that when it comes time to being the men that they need to do and hitting those big time buckets, they can't.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to dismiss what you're saying because clearly it's relevant, right? Like missing 60% of your lineup, yeah, relevant. My pushback to that would be that's how it is right now. A lot of those clutch losses came when guys were healthy, right? I'm quoting games from October and November. The other pushback I would give specific to Saturday night is, yeah, you lose 127, 126 in a game that I don't want to spend too much time on it. I mean, it was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. The officiating, they moved the goalpost within the game, right? So it's almost like an umpire changing his strike zone in between innings. There was 26 fouls called in the fourth quarter. Just unthinkable. But Denver Nuggets were up 17 points in the second half.
Blew the lead.
And you allowed a Magic team that is based on their defensive efforts and not their offensive efforts to score 127 points. And it's, the defense was not very good. Their perimeter defense is flat ugly. Okay, it's flat ugly. But I look up and I see what's going on with Oklahoma City, who, guys, their record is insane on the surface, but they're 6-4 in the last 10. And I look at some of these games that they have lost in games that they shouldn't have lost. All right. Now, bad losses are going to happen in the NBA. So you lose to Portland. Well, it's a bad matchup for you. That's not a bad loss, in my opinion. Losing to the Bulls at home is a bad loss. Losing to the Kings at home is a bad loss.
Yeah.
Losing to the Mavericks at home, one of the worst offenses in the last 10 years. They scored 131 points in Denver. That's a bad loss. And I point to the Magic loss as a bad loss because you were in control and had a 17-point second half lead, and you got out executed down the stretch. But that's 4 games.
Well, and you lose to the Mavericks twice. You talked about
yes,
them once.
crazy.
You lose to them twice.
I left out the one that was on the road because I don't want to say every loss is a bad loss because sometimes should they have won? They should have. But the one at home is the one that's stuck
a little bit
in my craw. And then you look up at the standings and you see Oklahoma City at 27-5. The Nuggets are 22-9. If those 4 bad losses, 4 of the 9 losses are bad losses, if those are flipped and you're 26-5, you're right on OKC's heels. And this assumption that Oklahoma City, it's their birthright to be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, that would not be the dynamic at play had they not lost those bad games.
But I'm looking at it deeper now because, yes, these are bad losses like you just got done explaining. But it's the way they're losing. They're not playing defense.
No.
That's the issue right now. You're letting bad teams beat you because you're not playing defense, specifically on the perimeter, like closing out, not letting these teams get second opportunities to score points on you. What's going on with that? Now, that's why I'm having a little bit of PTSD because that's something that was happening to the Denver Nuggets last year.
Correct.
And yet we're here in 2025/26, and we're still dealing with this issue when it comes to defense. Now, of course, we're hurt, we're banged up, we're paying backups. Booby's backup. But it has to change, and that's on David Adelman, and that's on the mindset of the team of we know we can score points. But so can the Thunder. So can the Spurs. Can you play defense when it matters the most? That's one thing. Hockey, basketball, football, if you can't play defense, you are not winning.
Well, they're winning games, but examining the club through a championship lens, they're not a perfect team. And there's room to grow. They're going to get healthier. They have to get healthier. We know that's going to happen. And my hope is that, by everyone having to whether play out of their role and play up in role and overexert in minutes, as you mentioned, they don't suffer another injury because of these increased minutes. So let's keep our eye on the clutch losses for the Denver Nuggets. Did not have that many on my bingo card before New Year's Day. Okay, shifting gears. CU Boulder made one of the most important hires today since the turn of the century. I have 2 huge questions as it relates to Deion Sanders. Also, we are going to talk about the new dynamic between Broncos and Chargers and what Sean Payton was saying today about that dynamic. We're going to get to all of that as we are on the doorstep of 40 consecutive minutes of commercial-free sports talk coming up next.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
This week's Recovery of the Week is brought to you by Step Denver, the men's residential addiction recovery program in Lower Downtown. Our Recovery of the Week this week belongs to 3 different Denver Nugget basketball players who have been all dealing with their own injuries, and that's Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson. But the good news is the team has stayed afloat without them, and all 3 should be back on the hardwood relatively soon. That was our Recovery of the Week presented by Step Denver. Sitting down with Vincent, it takes work to have any kind of success, but especially to have a comeback. Work is one of the core principles of your program, right?
Absolutely, Zach. Work helps develop self-pride. It gives purpose and self-worth. In my first 5 days, it was a requirement to attend the Career Counseling Center there. And being that I'm a 2-time convicted felon, I was so grateful. I wasn't sure how I would approach my felonies when asked in an interview. Not only did the career counseling manager assist me with my resume, but we also did mock interviews so I could practice on how to speak about my criminal record when asked in an interview. Zach, I can tell you after receiving my first paycheck in 9 years, I sat there, I looked at it in my hands, and it brought tears to my eyes knowing that for the first time in a long time, I made honest money and becoming a contributing member of society and not just a drug addict on the corner begging for money. At STEP, our residents have to get full-time tax-paying jobs. Last year, 79% of our men were employed within the first 45 days of the program.
I love hearing that. Guys, if you are struggling with addiction or you want to make a donation to help the men who are in fact calling STEP to get their life back today, you can visit stepdenver.org. That's stepdenver.org.
Soon, if not already, businesses throughout the world will draft their mission statements. These complicated documents, filled with legal jargon and mysterious words, define corporate goals and objectives. We do that, but ours is different. This is Glenn Jameron, president of Alpine Bank, member FDIC. Our mission boils down to 2 simple words. If we dedicate ourselves to these 2 words, everything else will follow. What are they? Be kind. The English language contains hundreds of thousands of words, but at Alpine Bank, 2 are all we need. Alpine Bank, committed to Colorado and you.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just 1 day and yet the results last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Dr. Tanya Pauls and Advanced Hair's simple 1-day treatment using your own natural hair. Advanced Hair restores your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning, and they guarantee your new hair will grow for life. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
A lot of personal injury lawyers make claims about how good they are. But how do you know who's the best? Who will fight to get you the money you deserve? At Berg Simpson, we don't rely on simple claims like other firms. We have 27 best lawyers in America, 17 super lawyers, and we're one of the National Trial Lawyers' top 25 most influential law firms. Compare us to other firms, then call Berg Simpson.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The Fed dropped rates for the 4th time. And if you're a homeowner, you should call American Financing today. You could be saving real money every month. High interest debt is crushing budgets across the country, but homeowners who act now are using their equity to wipe it out. American Financing customers are saving an average of $800 a month, with some getting rates in the low 5s. A massive difference compared to credit cards charging 20% or more. Speak with a salary-based mortgage consultant and find out exactly what you qualify for. There are never any upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Move quickly, and you could even delay 2 mortgage payments, putting cash in your pocket immediately, giving you back some of that money you spent during the holidays. holidays. Call American Financing today. The sooner you act, the quicker you can save. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Need a new water heater? Euro Plumbing has lifetime warranties, great financing, and low pricing. 720-500-3000. 720-500-3000.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, rolling downhill here on a Monday. Really appreciate you guys hanging with us. We'll get to Broncos at the top of the hour here in about 12 minutes or so. Hear from Sean Payton from today. All right, so we'll react to that. You're not going to want to miss that. But before we do that, I said going into the last break, CU made one of the most important hires here in, I just said turn of the century. If you want to say in school history, I think it's fair. And I have 2 huge questions as it relates to the hiring of 37-year-old athletic director Fernando Lovo.
Fernando!
CU Board of Regents approved the hiring today. I have never, at the Power 5 level, heard of a 37-year-old athletic director. Ever. No frame of reference. Maybe it's happened before and I just don't know about it, but this is a remarkable rise for someone at his age to jump into that level and be the boss.
Obviously, there was a bunch of homework put into this when it came to acquiring Lovo and giving him the contract that they did, 5 years, $1.2 million annually. I mean, that's pretty big for a 37-year-old that seems to be able to turn things around. I mean, with New Mexico, he was just there for 13 months.
Crazy.
Turn that program around. And we're not talking about just football. You're talking about it as an athletic director for all sports, in the money part, and how college has just flipped, and it's just insane. And the things that you have to do to try to get this money, you have to have a guy in charge that can paint this picture, paint this vision, just like Sean Payton, to want people to fork over money to the program. And that's exactly what it seems like Lovo can do for you. Fernando Lovo. So I'm excited, Zach. I mean, it's a young, hungry guy that I believe, now people may take this the wrong way, and I think that we're on the same page with this. This may be a stepping stone coming here to the University of Colorado for Fernando in the long run, where it's like, I got 5 years to help this program out. If I do my job and we're successful and we bring in a lot more money, then I could probably go somewhere like, let's just say, Texas, because he was a part of Texas before. Or,
Twice.
Twice.
Yes.
Miami, just a bigger school. And that's not a knock on Colorado, but what it's saying is he did his job where everybody wants him, and now we're in a great place when it comes to finances. We're in a great place when it comes to just our teams, my Boulder team, my Colorado Buffaloes, when it comes to wins. Like, that's what it seems like would be his reason to moving on to a bigger and so-called better job.
Well, what a rise. I mean, the phrase hot shot, whiz kid, it's invented for people like this. And I'm sure his mindset right now isn't, oh, I got to do a great job here so I can get the next job. But if you do a great job organically, those opportunities are going to come to you. And, Fernando Lovo, former chief of staff for the Jaguars, he also did 2 different stints as an administrator for the Longhorns down in Austin. All right. New Mexico hired him 10 seconds ago in December of 2024. And, what happened at New Mexico? It basically was a banner year. the Lobos grew their overall operating budget by over 17%, with record marks in ticket sales, multimedia rights, and fundraising. Last year, he hired a coach by the name of Jason Eck for the football program, actually a former Colorado graduate assistant coach, and the Lobos finished 9-4, which is why you saw those increases, by over 17% in terms of operating budget. A CU hired a firm to find this young man, paid $125,000 for the firm's services, according to records obtained by the USA Today. And yeah, they're going to pay it. They're going to buy out his contract from New Mexico. Think about that. New Mexico just hired this guy. They're thinking, this guy, we're taking a chance on this young guy, and he's gone. As soon as they turn around, they're going to buy out the contract for $800K. And my huge question is two things. I have two questions.
Playoffs.
How aligned is he with Deion Sanders? And my follow-up question would be, how much patience will he have with Deion Sanders if the results don't turn around in pretty short order?
Well, for both those questions, it's going to come down to communicating, sitting down, talking, both coming up with their pitch on what it's going to look like for this program, the vision, the type of kids coming in, what Coach Prime is going to ask for when it comes to money, because money talks in college football now. What can Fernando do, Mr. Lovo do out there when he's pitching to the donors, pitching to other people so that they can get this money in here so that they can keep some of these players, and not just for football. This is for all the athletes out there so that we can have the top of the line type of athletes that can help you win football games, basketball games, volleyball games, you name it. And so for Prime, it's about communicating, understanding that you guys aren't going to see always the same things and coming to some kind of common ground. It's going to be interesting because Prime's answering to a 37-year-old man.
Right, boss.
That's his boss, when it's hard for you to take any kind of criticism. We know how Coach Prime is. So it's going to be interesting to see. And then for Lobo, you got to give this some time. You have to give it some time. How
much time?
At least 2 years. Because it's not just about where you're focusing on football, because he still has to go out there and fundraise too. So he needs to make sure that he can keep a coach for at least 2 years so that they can get that done. When you're worrying about trying to figure out who the next head coach is for your football team and then go out there and try to pitch something, but you don't know who your coach is yet, it's a disaster. So I'm going to say 2 years because Coach Palmer already has that money tied to him.
Well, I think that's where it'll end up being is 2 years. I don't think you're going to see this AD come in here and fire Deion Sanders after 1 year. But after the second year, after he does the year of inventory, man, the wins have to come. The wins have to come. And like a question that I would want to know the answer to, and I would love to be a fly on the wall. During the hiring process, and there's no way of knowing, but during the hiring process, he has got to be vetting CU in the same way that CU is vetting him, right? So you're like almost interviewing the school too. Where did this young man, what was his outlook of Deion Sanders? What kind of conversations were had after examining the landscape? Because it's not great up there right now financially. And the number one way to turn it around is success through the football program.
Yeah.
So like here's an example I'll use. When Sean Payton was being interviewed by the Denver Broncos, he would have had to know the answer. Hey, if I can't figure this thing out with Russ, what are my options for moving on from him? What does that look like? And I think that I believe those conversations were had, all right?
They should be had.
Yeah, they should be had. For this young man, what kind of conversations were had about the outlook of Deion Sanders? Because it's a huge contract. Huge contract.
So what do you think? What do you think happened in there? If you were a fly on the wall and you would be an ugly fly, and flies are ugly.
Flies are ugly.
What do you think that he may have pitched? Because I don't believe it was, hey, like, I'm gonna get rid of this man next year.
No.
You know, that's hard to do.
No. Just exercising, or going through the exercise of, okay, so if this thing gets turned around, like, What could this look like? Or what could this look like? Hey, if it doesn't get turned around, let's turn the coin over. If it doesn't turn around and our revenue drops further, and you just continue down those conversations, like what does it look like in that scenario? And I think that's normal business world stuff. This is not unique to Deion or CU or anything like that. And I would be curious what the answers to those questions would be if those questions were in fact asked, which I think they would have to be. I don't know. I mean, it's a big boy conversation. It's a big boy conversation. But I can tell you the number one thing that this young man is going to be tasked with doing is turning around the financial picture up in Boulder. You know,
fundraising, money. You got to get money here, because I said earlier, money talks in this college football world now, and college in general. The more money that you have to give these players, the NIL money, which we don't have right now,
right,
you're better off. You'll get a couple players that you need, specifically defense. If you're going to fork out some money, it needs to be some defensive players, maybe a couple offensive players, but let's go with the defense and offensive line. Secure that, shore that up, just like Sean Payton has done. Start from the inside out, like Zach Bye and I both agree on, and you go from there.
I'm also curious when he will do his first press conference. And will he set standard of expectation? Just curious. You know, this guy's a big football guy. You've seen him in these locker rooms after Lobos win, right? And you sent it to me. I mean, this guy is fiery. You're not going to rise to this level at 37 years old without having basically all the boxes checked.
He's going to be really invested in what's going on there with Coach Prime and just the staff in general. So it's going to be interesting to see what he says, what he thinks of some of the other coaches on the coaching staff that they're paying, paying as well.
Yeah.
You know, but they have both Deion and Fernando. They got to be on the same page. It starts with communication, and then you go from there. But it ends up both of them have to win. How you win, you got to get the money, but also Coach Prime, you got to coach.
Yeah, and you might not like this, Phil.
Oh, here we go.
You might not like this.
What now?
But what Fernando Lovo needs to also do.
What does he need to do? So I can tell him.
You know.
No, I don't.
You know. What am I going to say?
Oh, no, there's a lot of things that come out of your mouth.
It needs to be communicated to Deion Sanders. We need you to work harder on the recruiting trail. I need you to do what every other coach in America does, and I need you to get out there and recruit. Deion, you have a superpower. You have a magnet in your heart. People are drawn to you. You are wildly entertaining. You hold court. Right now, we're not getting the level of recruits that we need to get. And maybe in time, you can return to this after we have bags of money and the kids just follow the NIL money. But for right now, before we have those bags, I need you to work, and I need you to work with me. Does that sound good, Deion? Does that sound good?
I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good. But also for Mr. Fernando, you have to do your part, which is paint this picture. You better get him some money. That's what Texas Tech did, was able to have somebody fork up a check. You got Kenny Dillingham that's saying that somebody in Arizona needs to fork up $20 million. They got it over there. Same here in Colorado. There's so many people that are moving into Colorado, Zach. Fork up that check.
Well,
$20 million, Zach.
They've been looking for it. They've been looking high, and they've been looking low. But they cannot find this money. So we'll see. We'll see. I was up in Boulder yesterday. On Saturday.
Yeah.
I love that town.
Do you?
I do. I was on the hill, Phil. I was on the hill.
Getting after it.
One of my favorite things to eat in the world, maybe my number one overall draft pick, is a sandwich. Okay? I just love a sandwich, and I love all different kinds of sandwiches. Italians, turkey bacons, Philly cheesesteak, chicken cheesesteak, Italian sausage.
Didn't you come up with something that Subway stole from you?
I did. Subway did steal it from me. I was a sandwich artist, part of the SU alumni network, Subway University. And I made the Zhova, which is you take the Italian BMT, take the ham off it, add turkey instead, and it's turkey, pepperoni, and salami. And I had that sandwich for years. Everyone knew that was my sandwich at that Subway anyway. We were Subway 837. 837. And they stole it from me. They called it the Turkey Italiano. But there was a sandwich spot. I want to know if it was there when you were there. It was called Fast Half Sandwiches. Fast Half Sandwiches.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't fast half sub?
Or fast half subs? Yeah. That's what it is. It was over 100 sandwiches. You get a sandwich any kind. It was awesome. And there was no students there because they were there on break. So we made a whole day of it. It was awesome. So we'll see if this can work. But it's a big deal, man. Fernando Lovo, the new AD for CU, and the highest paid in the history of CU. He's going to get paid $1.2 million.
Fernando, you got to do your job.
Rick George, and that's and his job starts with making other people do their job.
Yeah, you're right. Hold everybody accountable.
That's right.
Hold everybody accountable.
That's
Look
right.
at you.
That's right. All right, this is
some money. Get them some money, Fernando.
Go get the kids. Go recruit. Go do your job. This is KKFN. KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Zach By and Phillip Lindsay, and we are The Drive. We're having fun here on a Monday.
Hey, ZB, we want you to come work. We want you to come work here. Best everything. But here's the deal. You got to work. You're not going to get paid, though. You're working because you love it. You come in here?
Wait, you're not making a compare.
You come here?
No, absolutely not.
Hey, why? Because you need the money, right?
Yeah, I need money.
So Fernando's here, Lovo, to get that, and you're right. Prime needs to make sure he goes out there and he solidifies these kids by showing his face.
What if we do the opposite of that and we say, hey, we're going to pay you not only money, we're going to pay you $10 million a year. Top of the market.
Damn.
What I need you to do is just do everything to the best of your ability. Can you do that? I think with most people the answer would be yes. So you can't tell me you're doing the job to the best of your ability if you're the only coach in the country who doesn't recruit.
Well, there's coaches out there. We're not even getting into it.
No, because you don't want to get into it.
He needs to go out there and he needs to find these kids.
Yes, we can agree on that. We can and then in agreement. He needs to go out and find these kids. He definitely needs to do that. All right, Broncos, Chargers. Week 18, the final chapter of the NFL's regular season, man, here so quickly. This has been, I say quickly, it's gone fast, but it's also felt like a really incredible journey here.
It's been a magical year, to say the least. I mean, think about like the dramatic wins that the Denver Broncos put up, the streak with the 11-game win streak, and then all of a sudden home field advantage has been a big hot topic here where we're so loud that the referees and the players can't even do their jobs right. I mean,
P.J. Locke almost ended someone's life.
Yeah, almost paralyzed somebody. I mean, it's been so fun, and we're talking about it like it's a book, and it's the final chapter, week 18, and hopefully that this is not it. It's like we get to the playoffs, you get the bye, you get some rest, but that's it. Like, no, we got to win. You're going to have 2 home games if you handle business week 18. This is coming up against the Chargers. You're going to have 2 home playoff games, 2 opportunities to win and get into the biggest dance you can ever get into, which is the Super Bowl. This has been fun, man.
It really has been. It has been. Broncos win the AFC West for the first time in a decade. Well, it's a big deal, but I'm curious, what was your opinion about Sean's approach to winning the division? He was asked about it, if he talked to the team about winning the division and maybe some of the gear that comes with winning the division, the hat, the shirt. This is what he said this morning.
The equipment guy, Flip says, text me, what do you want me to do? And I said, just put them in the lockers. We actually didn't even talk about it, and I don't know if that's something I should have or omitted. I haven't seen the hats or the shirts. My understanding is they're pretty ugly, and we just didn't really talk about it. The focus was on this week's game and the Chargers and the seeding ramifications, really trying to educate them relative to what's going to be important here down the stretch.
What did you make of Sean really minimizing winning the division? They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a topic of discussion.
I mean, it's Sean Payton. I understand that. And for Sean, the biggest goal is winning a Super Bowl. Not even getting there. Sean's not going to be happy about just getting there. He's been there before. He's been there. He's been close to it so many times, but it's about winning it. So he's making sure that his team stays focused. It was nice that they won the division. That was the first goal. the first thing they needed to do.
Yeah.
They did it.
Yep.
Check it off.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, for these players, Zach, I dreamed about winning the division, and right after a game, and I know they didn't have a game, so it's a little different, but right after that game, you put that cotton shirt on that's usually too big for you. It might be pretty small for me because of my muscles. The cotton shirt comes on with the hat, with the cigar in your mouth, and you get to take that picture. And it's like, you did it, man. Like, it's a long season. You guys find a way to get on top, which it took a lot of grit to get there and a lot of magic and help to get there. And you want to celebrate that for at least a day. And so even if it's just taking a picture at the locker or as a team, like, it means something. Because it should mean something to you, because it means something to Broncos country. We haven't been here in a very long time, and we're finally on top as a division of the division. We're division champs. That's huge going into this next step. So for Sean, I wish he would have took a step back and let them appreciate it, especially knowing that you're on a baby bye. On a baby bye, take a picture. That's it. Take a picture, and then let's move on to the next. I get it. And for a lot of athletes who aren't full of themselves, they don't necessarily care about, like, the limelight and the getting to the destination. It's the process of getting there. That's what you remember. It's like how hard it took you to get to that spot. Once you win, it's like, oh, this is it. This is like, we did all this. But it's about the trials and tribulations you go to get to the spot. And that's where you have to take a step back and just reminisce on what you guys did. And I wish he would have done that for them.
Well, it's there's no technically right or wrong way to go about it. And obviously Sean wants to, keep the big picture at top of mind, and I get all that. But I have a tendency to, in general, agree with you. I think life is short. When you accomplish something significant, and winning the division for the first time in a decade is significant. And you want to know what? I bet it's just circumstance. They didn't have a game.
Yeah.
All those players would have been in those shirts taking a picture if they had a game. It's just a weird intersection on a Thursday night football. You don't know if you actually won the division on that night, and so we'll see. We'll see if any of those T-shirts, hats pop up on social media here. Sean was asked earlier today on what they have to improve on, and he went right to the turnover ratio. Listen to this.
And then improving, the one area that has to improve is that turnover margin. And that can happen. We did a collective the last 25 years, Super Bowl winners, it's something like 114 in the plus. There's been one Super Bowl winner in the last 25 years. Now, I'm just talking about when the playoffs begin. The Rams recently were the only -2 turnover team. The rest added up to some crazy number. And so that's something we've got to improve on.
All right, so a little bit of house cleaning on behalf of Sean. And look, it's not a big deal. He misspoke, though, there when he said, hey, we looked at the past Super Bowl champions, and the Rams were the only team we could find that were a Super Bowl winner that were negative in the turnover margin, and he emphasized just going into the playoffs. So it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Every you do find teams with negative turnover margins heading into the playoffs win a Super Bowl, and we know that to be true because, believe it or not, the 2015 Broncos had a negative turnover margin. And I know you guys got this, most of you, but I want to just, for the sake of being inclusive across the board, when we say turnover margin, to just put it in simplest terms, if my team is playing Phil's team and I throw an interception to Phil's team, his team is +1 in the turnover margin. My team is -1 in the turnover margin. So you want to be plus. You want to be forcing turnovers.
Yeah.
Again, I know most of you guys got that. But so to have a 13-win team like the Broncos and be -5 in turnovers is it feels almost like a minor miracle.
No, it does. But when you're so aggressive, when you are getting the sacks like the Denver Broncos have done in the past, where they're just sack happy and they're creating these sacks, which can end up looking like turnovers because you're forcing them to punt, and now you have good field position because of it. That's what they leaned on, the aggressiveness and getting the 3 and outs and the sacks. The one thing when we went through camp, Zach, that stuck with me with the defense is, one, they didn't do a good job of communicating and talking. And usually defenses, they want to be loud. There's no reason to hide anything. Just be loud. Communicate so everybody's on the same page. And when you watch some of these games, it seems like they're not communicating still and they're not on the same page. And you have a situation where coverage is blown and a Jacksonville receiver goes for 45 yards or a touchdown because of it.
Sure.
Like, it can cost you games. But also, a lot of the teaching techniques of stripping the ball and punching at the ball during camp, I didn't see that a lot. And a lot of the teams that I've been on, the emphasis was, or the teams that got turnovers was, hey, punch at the ball even in practice. Make sure that this running back hangs onto the ball even when the whistle has blown. Work on your punch, the peanut punch. All right, work on going up there and getting the interception. Attention to detail has to be at an all-time high all the time. And whatever you practice, you'll do in the games. And so if you're not practicing that stuff all the time in practice, like the Denver Broncos defense was not doing when I'm observing it, you're not doing it in the games. On top of, you're already playing a lot of man, and man, it's hard to get interceptions because your back's always towards the quarterback.
Right.
The quarterback's always looking at your back, and
Right.
you're always trying to follow these receivers.
Right.
So, but it has to change. So when the defenders and the pass rush starts to get to the quarterback, Zach, they got to start stripping at the ball or hitting at the ball as they're tackling the quarterback to try to create turnovers.
Well, if you look at the best turnover margins in the NFL, the top 4 teams in turnover margin are all double-digit winners in terms of double-digit games. All the top 5 are playoff teams. So the Broncos, man, they have really swam against the current here. Typically, teams who are negative in the turnover, typically, not always. As we just mentioned, the 2015 Broncos, but typically, yeah, you don't turn the ball over and not turn over your opponent on a regular basis and continue to win games. So turnovers, though, are also often circumstantial. You can't dial up a turnover play. They often come in bunches. The ball is weirdly an oblong shape.
Yeah.
It takes weird bounces. Do you recover that fumble? Does it go the other way? And all that stuff. So I think what you have to hope is that this defense in the playoffs, or maybe starting this weekend, just turns into a much more opportunistic defense.
Well, then that's going to come down to 2 things. The players making plays. Somebody has to go above the X's and O's. All right, make that play, make that strip sack, make that interception that's sitting right in front of you. But also, you can scheme up certain things, Zach, still with VJ in the sense of disguising your coverage so that a quarterback thinks it's man when it's really zone, and now you're throwing it thinking it's man, and somebody picks it off because they're sitting right there in that zone. You can do certain things like that, but it comes down to a timely manner of how you set it up as a safety. As Hufanga and now PJ Locke, can you hold your water long enough that a quarterback doesn't catch what you guys are doing so that they do make that mistake? That takes time, and it takes patience. And if they can do that during the playoffs, they can get those turnovers that we need and we're talking about.
Well, just one of them in the wrong direction, whether it's a Bo Nix interception, a R.J. Harvey fumble, or it's a Pat Surtain interception. It's a Alex Singleton recovered fumble, whatever. That can absolutely swing a football game. And when you're talking about these 60-minute one-off games, it's a lot. It's a lot. Here's a little bit more from Sean Payton. On the RamosLaw.com text line, someone says the sacks have been non-existent. Sean Payton doesn't want to hear about it.
Not worried about the sacks. Not worried about the sacks. Worried about caging the quarterback, rushing him properly. We're not focused on the sack numbers. Those can actually be numbers that help a quarterback climb up in the pocket. So a lot of it has to do with who we've been playing relative to the quarterback position. But I'm not interested in the sack numbers.
Clearly. He said it 3 or 4 times now.
What's your take on it?
I think that
is that their identity? Isn't that their identity?
In some instances, I understand what he's saying, but also, let's not overcomplicate this. You have a chance to get after the quarterback, you typically do. And, yeah, I understand, hey, there's some cage rush approach, and, hey, let's keep them contained here in the pocket.
Bottle them up.
We're not going to get behind them, and that can be the worst. I got all that. But in general, getting after the quarterback is a good thing, and the lack of sacks has synced up with a bit of a regression from this defense over the last month. So I think he's being dismissive of it purposefully. Most things are purposeful with Sean.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get carried away on the defense taking a step back, and I get that approach. But also, I have eyes. I can think for myself as well. You want to get after the quarterback.
Yeah, you definitely want to get after the quarterback. But this is the time where I'm going to take a step back and listen to Sean. There's a reason why, one, he's upset about it, it seems like, which I don't know why you would be. And two, he's bringing it up because this is a Sean move. I don't view this as VJ saying, let's bottle people up. VJ has been very aggressive this whole year. All of a sudden, you want to play cage defense where you're not letting these quarterbacks out. This is more of a Sean saying, "Hey, we need you to play a certain way, and I'm the head coach, and I'm going to let you know like this is what I want done right now because I'm scared about these quarterbacks getting outside of us," which the Jacksonville Jaguars were able to do a couple times, and now they're completing a 3rd and 11 pass for a first down. So let's cage them up. And not pin your ears back if you're an outside pass rusher like Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, and just play disciplined eye football where your eyes are always on the quarterback so that they don't get outside of you. This is more of, to me, Zach, a Sean Payton putting his foot down saying, this is what I want done right now because of these quarterbacks and how these quarterbacks are playing. That's the only thing. Now, do I agree with it? Not necessarily. The identity of this defense is the pass rush, and the pass rush is supposed to get to the quarterback and make it hard for him. But also, I do understand what Sean's doing because you have these quarterbacks that are so mobile. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence. It's that you just want to keep them in front of you.
Well, I'd like to see him start getting after the quarterback again.
He's like, yeah. Just get to the quarterback.
That's just me. I mean, because that was the strength of the defense.
Yeah.
Matching it up with sticky coverage. Being able to get after these guys. And we'll see what it looks like on Sunday. No Justin Herbert on Sunday. Any concern that the foot comes off the gas in the department of extreme laser focus during the week, taking this as serious as a heart attack, despite knowing that their stud quarterback is going to be sat down. And if that's the approach with him, I would imagine that would be the approach with others. It does feel like eerily similar to a year ago. Different stakes with the getting into the playoffs and getting the number 1 seed, but, similar.
Zach, you have Sean Payton that doesn't even celebrate winning the division. Won't even let his players wear the damn cotton T-shirt. Do you think that he's gonna let these players let up on the gas? Like it's all in. He's going at this game like it's a playoff game. He doesn't care. And we talk about Sean Payton does not care if Justin Herbert is not playing. 1, Sean Payton has not beat Jim Harbaugh yet.
It's true.
All right, 2, you have a chance to take the number 1 spot, the number 1 seed, get a bye week, and only need 2 home playoff games to get to a Super Bowl. Everything is out there for them, and this is a business-like game, just like it has been this whole year for this team. And you brought it up during camp of how quiet and how serious this team is. And it's going to be the exact same thing going into this game at home, by the way, where the fans are going to be going ballistic. They don't care if Justin Herbert's not there. It's about seeing their damn Denver Broncos win 14 games and have that number 1 spot.
Well, in terms of the seriousness of the tone, Sean was asked at the start of this morning's conference call if he watched the Chargers lose to win the AFC West, and this was what he said, and listen to the tone.
I mean, I was watching it probably like everyone else. It ended up being a close game, hard-fought game. Then I think the immediate focus shifts towards Monday meeting, which we just had, relative to our approach this week, normal schedule, Sunday 2:25 start time. And this game is very much like a playoff game.
This game is very much like a playoff game. And that's how they approached it a year ago against an undermanned Chiefs team, and they absolutely just dismantled them. And the spread on the game, which opened up at 2.5 points, Broncos a 2.5-point favorite, is up to double digits. So the odds makers, last I checked earlier in the show, is at 11.5. The odds makers are expecting the Broncos to stick their foot up the keister of the Chargers and turn it sideways.
There we go. Turn that damn thing sideways. Now, are you expecting style points in this game?
Yes, I am. And I'll go so far to say this. If I want to feel great about the Broncos going into the playoffs, okay?
All right.
The next game after this one for the Broncos, the season hangs in the balance, every single play. And I want to feel great about it. And if I'm going to feel great about it, you go out and dismantle the Chargers. This can't be, because the last time we saw this, and it's a backup quarterback and no starting corners and no starting receiver, and this was Kansas City on Thursday Night Football, and it was a slog. If it goes that way again, which by the way was on the heels of a dismantling from Jacksonville towards Denver, if it's another game like that, I'm just going to be incredibly unsettled. That's my opinion. Just speaking for myself, I'm going to be very unsettled. But if they go out there and do what I think that they're going to do to them, I think it does matter.
See, usually I'm on the other side. Look, a win's a win, and in playing, I understand how hard it is to win that damn game. But knowing that Justin Herbert's going to be out and there's going to be a bunch of other starters, guys, that we're going to get the report on that will not be playing. We're here at home. There's not a short week like you talked about earlier. There's no Christmas in the way. So Grinch is gone. Santa Claus is gone. All you have to do is focus on task in hand, right? Focus on yourself. Focus on what you do. Attention to detail so that you can win this game. I'm looking for style points. I'm looking for the long drives, but not field goals this time. That's cute. All right, but we'll get you beat in the playoffs. What I want to see is get into the end zone. R.J. Harvey scoring another touchdown in the end zone. Maybe a couple passing touchdowns from Bo Nix. Defense going 3 and out, getting a turnover, getting a sack that Zach Bye wants so bad, and we should all want so bad. Special teams, Marvin Mims, giving us a little taste of what he's going to do in the playoffs to kind of spark this team. And I want Sean to dial it up. A couple trick plays I can see Sean doing like he did against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Can we just save those? Let's
like
save them for
creative
now.
plays. Let's go with creative plays.
Okay, I like that.
Not
I like
necessarily
that better.
trick, but like creative plays that you're like, wow, like that was a really cool play in the red zone. Like I'm expecting that. And I'm also expecting Sparky Jarrett Stidham to be playing in the fourth quarter because we handle business.
Yep, and that is my expectation too. That is because if your approach is playoff like it was a year ago, and their approach is the opposite. We're not bothered by the result of this game. It is what it is. Our priority is getting our guys healthy. This should be a one-way street. It really should. And then you got the home crowd behind you as well. Off a mini bye. Sean talked about the importance of that home field in the playoffs.
Historically speaking, it's extremely important. You know, every study would show you, and there's a number of reasons for that. You know, these games are 3 hours long. The first reason would be you skip a game in which you're at risk to do not play well, or an opponent all of a sudden have a great game. You skip the threat of potentially losing a game, if that makes any sense. And so you skip right to the next round, and then that be able to play in front of our fans with the crowd noise, the atmosphere. I don't know, it's been a while since they've hosted a playoff game. Certainly it's a fan base that deserves that opportunity, and I get excited for them, and I get excited for our team. So, man, all of it's important. And having been through this, like 9-10 other times, you've seen it all, and you recognize how important it is. The challenge of winning playoff games on the road, and how much more difficult that is as opposed to trying to win them at home.
Obviously, it changes everything. It changes everything. You win on Sunday, and the AFC playoffs come through Denver, Colorado. For some reason, if you don't, things could get weird. And so, man.
Just win. Just win. Man, 2 home playoff games.
Can you imagine?
A bye?
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening.
Crazy. It's all happening. Okay, what was our biggest takeaway from the documentary about the most famous person in the history of Colorado sports? We'll talk about Elway coming up next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports.
Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app.
This holiday season, AutoNation is unwrapping the biggest gift of all, the car you actually want with 0 down and no payments for 90 days. With our coast-to-coast inventory of nearly 100,000 new and used cars, trucks, and crossovers, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. 0 down, no payments until April. That's the deal you deserve on the car you love. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation store or AutoNation.com. Limited term financing on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase on deferred payments. See store for details.
Oh.
Wow.
That's the sound of flavor hitting just right. HelloFresh helps you cook fresh, delicious, wholesome meals every weeknight for a healthier you in each bite. From hearty falafel power bowls to juicy one-pan enchiladas, this is more than just dinner. It's feel-good made from scratch. Now hear that? That's what you bring to the table. HelloFresh. Nothing hits like home cooking. Try now at HelloFresh.com.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Dan Jacobs for 303 Law 4040, and I'm here with that beautiful voice you hear on the other end of the phone oftentimes when you call 303 Law 4040. It's my lovely wife, Kimberly. Kim, I know you and I had so much fun the other day. We actually met with a couple that had been in an accident up north in their house the other day, and Randy was so excited. He's like, I can't believe it. It's the lovely wife. She's right here in my kitchen.
He's too kind. It was really great to meet him and his wife and his pets and just be able to help them.
I think it helps that when you answer the phone, when people call 303 Law 4040, it makes things, I know calling a lawyer can be scary, but I don't know, your soothing voice just makes it a little bit easier.
Well, I just want to help. That's all. And I know how to do that.
I love the holidays. I always like to wish our listeners happy holidays. Would you like to do so as well?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful new year.
And I hope you never need us, but just in case, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The holidays will be here before you know it. And for many families, that means excitement, but also stress. Between gifts, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out if you qualify. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000 or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code PLAN to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code PLAN to get up to $1,000. Use code PLAN to get up to $1,000.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
I'm curious, what was our biggest takeaway from Elway, the Netflix documentary?
That's all he does, Zach. Elway finds a way to win.
Well, for a long time, he was known by most people around the country as a guy who couldn't win. And
Can win the big one.
Yeah, and because the Broncos didn't just lose in Super Bowls, they were getting smiggity smacked. But again, there's context to this that, like, and I've been saying this recently, like, we talk about these quarterbacks like it's a game of one-on-one. There's 22 starters in football, 22, and John, I don't like using the term dragging a team because of that. Like, you have a team that's playing in the Super Bowl, but in a lot of those years, he was the best attribute for the team by a mile.
Yeah, he was the number one player, offensively, defensively, special teams, that you could rely on to help you win games and get you to the big game, which John did multiple times.
Yeah.
Got him to the big game, then you look up and you get smacked in him. That has to be embarrassing, man. It has to feel different. Finding a way to win and get to the mountaintop, and not all the way there just yet to plant that flag. And then you get there, and the moment's big, but the moment seems too big.
Well, I mean, it was at one point when they're going back in the late 90s when they were going to go on to win those Super Bowls. Elway's mom asked, do we have to go back? This is to the Super Bowl. Do we have to go back? I mean, crazy.
No, was that in Buffalo? Is that kind of how they felt too, going to some of these Super Bowls, knowing that, like, are we going to win this game? Because that's what it seemed like. Like, when we have our conversations and talk where it's like Buffalo could get to a Super Bowl, but they couldn't win it.
Yeah, and that 4-year stretch, I know there was a lot of people like, here we go again. This is impending, heartbreak and letdown that is waiting for us. Other people, and everyone's different, even within a single fan base, other people believe that this was going to be the year, and we're hopeful.
See, that wasn't the case here in Denver, that Phil, because even when you watch the documentary, after the first Super Bowl loss, they're coming home, and it seemed like they won their parade.
Correct. Yeah, and you want to know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I did not realize, because Buffalo has been made fun of for having a rally, not a full-blown parade, but they had a rally and to celebrate the team that lost in the Super Bowl, and they had been made fun of. I listened to someone who used to be at the station drag them for that. And I didn't realize that that happened here in Denver until there wasn't a ton that I was like, oh, I didn't know that, because I have saturated myself in Denver sports over this last decade. But that one was new for me.
Yeah,
I did not
hey,
realize.
we're celebrating because you got there, but then the next time they got there, the crowd got smaller.
Yes,
knowing that you didn't win, so it's like the fans got restless. It's like, hey, we're getting there, but we're not winning, and we want to win.
Yeah. I also, I wish they went a little bit deeper on maybe some viewpoints that didn't align exactly with John Elway all the time. But it's his doc. Like, Omaha Productions isn't doing this independently. Like, John is, signing off on this stuff. This is from his vantage point. So much like the Last Dance doc about the Bulls during COVID and Jordan's, final 1998 season, like,
you're getting one side.
You're getting one, right. And so, I thought we'd hear from more teammates. Honestly,
I'm with you on that one. A little bit more teammates, more detail, a little bit more background, not just as a football player for John, but just in general, in his personal life throughout that time. Not now, but throughout that time, that kind of led to who he was and what he was doing. I wanted to feel it a little bit more. Like, some of the documentaries out there, you see everything.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the indifferent, but makes you feel a little bit different about that person, where it's like, wow, like, they're human.
Yeah. Well, there was for sure a window within the doc that was humanizing for this superhero, and that was the time period after his playing career had ended. And he lost his father. He lost his twin sister. I think he said she passed in the MRI tube.
Yeah.
I mean,
she did.
Gosh.
Lost his family in the sense of, divorced from his wife, not having the relationship with his kids.
Right.
And everything happened all at one time. In the span of 4 years, I want to say it was 4 years, after being on the mountaintop and going back-to-back and having Super Bowls and finally retiring to kind of give himself to his kids and to his wife, seems like everything fell apart. And you're a person where you seem like you have everything and you end up with nothing. That's what it looked like. And it was sad to see that. But also when you're looking at these great players like Michael Jordan, like Tom Brady, and then, of course, John Elway, they're so focused on being great, and that's why they are so great, because they don't want to do nothing but that sport, and they refuse to lose, that you lose sight of everything else that you helped build with, like your family, your kids, and you lose them because of how focused you are on one thing,
right.
And that was football and winning.
Yeah, and it's isn't that so remarkable?
Man.
That someone could look like they have the world in the palm of their hand. And then when you come home, it's you said this earlier, you come home and it's just quiet. The house is quiet. You know,
nobody to celebrate with,
no.
Nobody to talk to. So you do all this work and have all the accolades and everything, but for what? You have nobody to share it with.
Right.
And now you're depressed and you're lonely.
Yeah. It was interesting to see how much his ex-wife was featured in the doc. They must still have a great relationship, and she seemed like, and it's it's a snippet, but she seemed lovely and incredibly graceful towards John during those years where she was everything to that household. And it was it was interesting to hear the kids talk about the heaviness of the losses, that we knew that he's blaming himself, the heaviness in the house, the vibe and spirit in the house goes up and down with wins and losses. And then seeing the perspective that they shared with Jack Elway, who was coaching, and that same vibe in their house back when they were growing up.
Yeah.
And hey, if we don't win here, we're gonna have to move again. And them saying, yeah, he worked a lot, but he was hanging out with the coaches too, and he wasn't home. And you see the look on the wife's face.
That was that one hurt a little bit too. Watching that, with it just seemed like there was hurt. Of I understand, this is my role, my job, but damn, this is not what we want.
Yeah.
And the other thing that kind of it was a little sad when his kids was after he won the Super Bowl, that's the happiest he's ever been and ever looked. And it's to me, when I'd never want my kids to think that the happiest I ever will be is holding up some type of trophy,
right?
And not them,
right?
Not them,
right.
And I don't know how it is to be that great. I don't know how it is to be Tom Brady, John Elway, and so I don't know what they're going through. But what I do know is I have kids just like they do.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine putting a football or a trophy over them or before them. I just couldn't do that.
No, and I agree with you. And there was a vibe, and this was the most vulnerable that the doc got, but it was a vibe of how well do you really know these kids, and how well do they really know you, and your heart, and man, I remember hearing about this dynamic from Kobe Bryant, him saying, I've poured myself into this to such a degree that their personal relationships took a sacrifice. Jordan, you mentioned him.
Yeah.
Brady, there's wide-held speculation that Tom Brady's marriage to Giselle, she did not want him to go back to Tampa and play again, and he said, "I'm going," and it's just the sacrifices that gets made, but then it's who are you playing for? You're not playing for them anymore. You're playing for yourself.
Exactly. You're being selfish, because at some point it's what more do you want? What more do you want that you don't have?
Yeah. Man, another thing that I didn't quite realize, I knew that it was a reference point, but I didn't understand the full scope of the history between he and Terry Bradshaw. And man, I have to tell you, I'm not a big Terry Bradshaw guy anyway, but I walked away from that with a really unfavorable view of Bradshaw, who I think initially was very, very jealous of John Elway because he was like an Elway prototype, not prototype, but like profile, like top pick, superstar quarterback, known for all his physical gifts are just incredible, number one pick. And he was bashing Elway before he ever stepped foot in the NFL.
And for Terry, I understand as like a NFL player, there's these young players coming into the league that are first-round draft picks that feel like they have arrived, and that's not the case. In John Elway's case, he made it known, like, hey, I don't want to go to Baltimore. I don't want to be a Baltimore Colt.
Right.
And I've let that be known with the general manager. We tried to get out of it before they decided to pick me up, and they did it anyway. And so right there, it's showing and telling all these other NFL players, like, oh, you think that you're better than everybody else and that you get to decide where you get to go, which he did. He decided where he wanted to go. He went to Denver.
Well, really interesting. Really interesting. I thought it actually could have been a docu-series instead of a one-off because there's a lot that they didn't get into.
Yeah.
And didn't hear from a lot of teammates, just maybe two. I was surprised by that. But it's worth your time. It's definitely worth your time watching Elway on Netflix. Okay, what did we learn today in Denver sports? That's how we'll finish up coming up next.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok
at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. You know, in the game of life, our most valuable asset is our health. With the right equipment, you can train like a pro. That's why I've made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer. I have a true treadmill at home. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, save big this holiday season. At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
The truck driver wasn't paying attention and crashed straight into you. Now you're paying the price. You're looking at surgeries, missed work, and more. Call the truck crash lawyers at Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson has been helping truck crash victims for 50 years. And with over $50 million recovered after truck crashes, our results speak for themselves. Call our team today and let us fight for every dollar you deserve.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You will feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I know from personal experience, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
This is Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Hall of Famer. I learned early in my career that winning takes teamwork. And in banking, that means choosing a partner that has your back. That's why I trust Colorado Credit Union, a local financial institution that has spent more than 50 years investing in our community and helping families build a strong financial future. To learn more, visit ccu.org or stop by any branch. Colorado Credit Union, Love where you live, love where you bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. Equal housing opportunity.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer. Exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney. Tuesday afternoons on The Drive. And Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth. All season long.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Our final segment here on a Monday. Fun show. Flew by. And we appreciate you guys being here for it. All right. I think the biggest thing that we learned is the status of Justin Herbert and how the Chargers will be operating in Week 18. And Herbert will not play. And it's not a guarantee of anything, but boy, oh boy, does it groove the path for the Broncos to be the number 1 seed in the AFC.
No Herbert, no problem, right? Because it seems like when Herbert plays, he's a thorn in our backside with Jim Harbaugh, and Sean hasn't beat Jim Harbaugh yet. So this is his opportunity now, knowing that his franchise quarterback, Jim Harbaugh's franchise quarterback, is not going to play. On top of that, if Herbert's not playing, who else is not going to play?
Exactly.
Anybody else that's banged up, needs some time off, they're not playing either. So the Denver Broncos, if they go out there with the right mindset, business-like mindset, they should be able to handle the business, win, style points. I would love that, to feel good, just like you said, Zach, to feel good going into the playoffs.
And you're not a style points guy.
No, I just care. I just want to win. I know how hard it is to win this league, even if you're playing against backups. But in this case, if everything is working for you offensively, defensively, special teams-wise, you should be able to win this game at home with home field advantage to get ready for the playoffs, have that number 1 spot, right? Number 1 seed, get the first bye, and then only need 2 games to get to a Super Bowl? Sign me up.
Well, I agree. Typically not a style points guy. And this is not about style points for the sake of style points. I just want to make that clear. This is about, hey, do you want to feel good about the Denver Broncos going into the postseason? Because their next football game after Chargers, every play the season is hanging in the balance. And we know how it went on Thursday Night Football against Kansas City. Not great. All right, not great, kind of a slog. And then the week before that, they lost to Jacksonville. So if for whatever reason they came out flat and it was the same or similar vibe as Kansas City on Christmas, it's going to feel unsettling going into the postseason.
I just want to see the long drives which the Denver Broncos have been able to do, but not just about getting points. Because when you say points, you're saying a field goal or a touchdown. No, let's get some touchdowns. Get some touchdowns. Get some rhythm going when it comes to the offense, the offensive line, the running backs. Get them into some groove. All right, Bo, find a way to get that ball in the end zone a couple times. Defense, get off the field, have some 3-and-outs, have some sacks for my boy Zach Bye because he wants to see that again. I do too. Maybe a turnover. Like, I just want to see it all put together. Maybe even a Marvin Mims explosive play.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be a touchdown, but an explosive play to give the fan base a taste of what's getting ready to happen in these playoffs.
Yeah, man, that place is going to be wound up on Sunday. Wound up. I may try to pull a Hail Mary and bring my son to the game. Maybe.
All right. Audible, huh?
He keeps on begging me. He wants to go to a real game. I want to go to a real game. He goes, you get to go to the games. We were looking at, I was showing my mom, you get honored at the Packers game.
Okay.
And he's like, Phil. He's like, Phil's on the field. I wish I could be on the field.
I was like,
and looking at me, I'm like, bud, just you get hooked up enough. You don't even realize it.
Sit down.
Yeah, you want to be on the field. Goodness gracious. But it'll be a live atmosphere, I'm sure. And we heard from Sean Payton earlier in the day and the seriousness that they're approaching Week 18. I think this is going to be a one-sided affair, brother. I think that this is going to be Broncos 28, Chargers 10. 28-6, 23-6. Trey Lance.
I'm going 30. I'm going 31. I'm at 31-7. Trey Lance will find a way to get in the end zone. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a good backup. And they're going to have a little bit of pride. Obviously, that like you see what Kansas City Chiefs were able to do. The Chargers are still going to have some pride, but it's not going to be enough here. Home field advantage. Broncos country going crazy. Bo Nix handling business. I'm expecting. I know we got a full week to dissect this, but I'm expecting.
Not a full week. Not a full
that's
week.
True. That's true. I'm expecting Sparky, Jarrett Stidham, to get in there in the fourth quarter because we handled our business.
Yeah. Yep, that'd be best case scenario here. All right, man. This is, it's about to get real. It's about to get real.
It's here.
AFC West champions for the first time in a decade. Number 1 seed opportunity for the first time in a decade.
Give me my shirt and hat. Wear that with pride.
Well, you can go on for $19.99 and get yourself a shirt and hat.
I'll pass.
100% cotton. All right. We'll leave it there for now. We will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Already have some fun things lined up. Thank you guys for being with us here on a Monday. We step aside for Denver Sports Tonight with Mike Rice and Dante Gomez coming up next.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports.
Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app.
What's going on, gentlemen? With the new year comes the new chance to make real positive changes in your life. Remember that first time you failed to perform in the bedroom? You probably just laughed it off, right? No big deal. But then it happened a second time. Then it happened a third. Guys, do not let it happen a third time. All right? Because there's treatments out there that can help you with your erectile dysfunction. And we all know that ED is an intimacy destroyer. And research out there shows that men can draw away from their partners when ED affects their sex life. And the conditions can cause stress, anxiety, depression, and even worse, a man's partner can blame themselves when ED becomes a problem. Guys, do not put the blame on your partner. Take full control of what's going on with you by going to Rocky Mount Men's Clinic because their treatments work when the pills and herbals fail you. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. And some of their treatments can have you lasting an hour or even more if that's what you really want to do. All you need to do is schedule a consult with Rocky Mount Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99, which will include a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And here's the thing, gentlemen, if the test dose does not work in the office, the visit is free. They also have 5 locations out there to serve you, so there are no excuses. Go get treated. You can go to Fort Collins, North Denver, Central Denver, Castle Rock, and Colorado Springs. So give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
This holiday season, AutoNation is unwrapping the biggest gift of all. The car you actually want with 0 down and no payments for 90 days. With our coast-to-coast inventory of nearly 100,000 new and used cars, trucks, and crossovers, you'll find exactly